Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on an absolutely insane beginning of a wild journey today. Let's just say that. This is going to be a couple of parts, at least 2, possibly 3, and it's absolute insanity. It's a guy that people have been asking for since I believe we got our first message about him like our 3rd week of the show, which was around
March 2015.
It was it's 16, yeah, February. It was like March 2016 we started getting our, and it's been constant, and and there's a reason why, because this person is one of the craziest people who's ever existed that happens to also have sports talent. It's bonkers shit. We'll talk all about it. Before we get to that, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Merchandise is there. Also, tickets to live shows for Small Town Murder, all of 2024. Everything's available. There's 12 dates up there. They're going fast. Like Phoenix is sold out already. So
wild.
It is. Yeah, some of these shows are very close to selling out. And Phoenix is in November. So that's what I mean. Get your tickets now. Do all of that. Shutupandgivememurder.com. You definitely want to listen to our other shows, which are Small Town Murder, which we've been telling you about for 7 of the 8 years. And then, of course, you want to listen to Your Stupid Opinions if you haven't. Because
unbelievable.
I'm telling you, if you like this show, you're going to love that show. I'm going to go out on a limb here. It's the funniest goddamn show on the internet. You're gonna find. I challenge you, laughs per minute wise. I challenge you to put it up against any stand-up special you might watch, and it's fucking fun.
It's goddamn incredible.
Every single week, check it out. Now we're done tooting our own horns like fucking idiots. Yeah, I feel like an asshole now for that. But it was true. It's true. It's how proud of it we are. So do that. And you definitely want Patreon. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all the bonus material. And we have a ton of it. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get this giant back catalog of a couple hundred episodes. And then you get new episodes every other week. 1 Crime and Sports, 1 Small Town Murder. And this week, we have some good shit for you. This week, what you're going to get for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about Morgana the Kissing Bandit. Now, you don't know who she is. You've seen everybody's seen a highlight of her. She is a blonde woman with size, I don't know, triple Q tits, like
Texas-sized titties.
I mean, they're her whole torso are her boobs. And they would, for some reason, let her run onto sports fields in the middle of games, and she'd go kiss players, and nobody would get upset. The players would smile, she'd laugh, and then she'd run off the field with her giant tits bouncing, and everybody would cheer. And that was that. There was no security involved. Nobody cared. What the hell? How do you do that? We'll talk all about that. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about the prisoner dating game, everybody.
Oh,
It's back.
yes.
Again, another edition of the prisoner dating game. Right. You know you want to hear that. Jimmy's going to pick one of each, actually. We have set up 4 young ladies and 4 young men, and the only thing they all have in common is they are terrible, violent felons. Will he pick the child molester? That's the joke here.
They're all criminals.
We'll see. Patreon.com/crimeinsports.
Great.
And you'll get a shout out at the end of the show where Jimmy will mispronounce your name, even though we'd love to get it right. Yeah. That said, let's do it here.
Let's
go. It's been a long time in the making, and let's do this with Paul Gascoigne. We're going to get into this. Now, I got to say, first of all, this is a soccer episode, number 1, football episode, so and a British episode as well. So we absolutely just ask
a goddamn thing
that you find our ignorance charming. We try our best.
Sorry about it.
And we will make fun of ourselves for shit we don't know. Put it that way. That's how we always do it with that. And this episode, it was started a year ago, this episode, okay, the research for this. We were going to do it a year ago. Allison started the research. She does our research for Small Town Murder. Yeah. And she started this research, and it was a lot. And I was like, whoa, this is a lot. We got to. And then I realized there was even more to get into and all of this. So I saved it, kind of had some stuff put aside for it. Sure. And then Ian came on board, and then he tackled this thing like crazy and broke it down into hundreds of pages. And then on top of that, I've read several books on the man. Including Gazza, his own book that he wrote about himself, and Gazza in Italy, and all these different.
His nickname is Gazza?
Gazza, 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 I guess you'd say,
boy.
Gazza. So this, oh my God, I've heard so much about this guy. He is a fucking lunatic. I mean, if you're an American listener and you're like, I don't care about soccer, it does not matter because this guy is nuts. Even if we're talking about a soccer game, at some point he'll do something crazy in it and it'll be entertaining. Trust us on this. Let's get into it. Paul John Gascoigne, and it's Gascoigne.
Right.
So I looked at it and I was like, oh, he's a paisan. Gascoigne. Okay. What's up, Gascoigne? But that's not it at all. We'll talk about the origins of it. His birthplace is Gateshead, England. Now, he will also, I don't know, see, this is the thing. We don't know British geography. This is the find our ignorance charming. But I've heard this several times. He says he's a Geordie. Now, that's someone from a certain area that has a very specific accent. It's difficult to understand. It's a tough one because at one point he says when he's small he goes to some coach and the coach was a Geordie too and he could understand him and he was like, thank God I could be understood. But I saw in Kitchen Nightmares once the UK version there. Yeah. Gordon went to some restaurant and the guy was a Geordie and I was like, wow, his accent is hard. Not like Welsh. Welsh is like another language. That's crazy, but
it's fascinating how easy they pick them out too. I mean, it's similar here in America where you can pick a fucking Minnesotan out or Wisconsin
2 seconds
accent. Yeah, right out
Texas
of
from an Alabama. They sound different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Louisiana from Florida, whatever.
Yeah, Boston from New York, same shit.
So the Naked Attraction, the show that I watch, they have 6 people and they roll their curtain up and then they let them talk, and then the guy or person picking between the people picks based on the distance from which they live from him, and he can tell based on their fucking accent. He's like, I can't be with her. She lives way too far north.
Yes, and it's a lot, and it's not that big of a country. That's the thing too. It's all kind of driving distance, whereas.
Right.
You'll hear that a lot. Yeah. We watched that First Dates show where they have the cameras around the restaurant there. And there's a UK version that has like 87 seasons or something. And they're always saying that too, like, oh, that accent, were you Bristol boy? Oh, boy. Okay. Well, yeah, that's too far because I live over there. It's like, what the hell's going on here? You live an hour away from each other. Like, no, mate, that ain't going to work. Yeah, it's crazy. So he's from Gateshead, wherever that is. He's 5'10", not a big guy, but a great player. That's the other thing we have to say is he's a lunatic, but He's almost like a Lawrence Taylor, where he's a lunatic, but he's also a fucking amazing player.
Lunatics.
He's great. Yeah, there's no denying how good he is, which is, makes him be able to keep fucking up because he's able to keep doing what he wants to do.
He can afford it. Yeah.
He can afford it, and, I don't know if after a while if he can afford it. So let's see. He's born May 27th, 1967 here.
Oh.
His father's name is John. His mother's name is Carol, and they're an interesting lot, the two of them.
Okay.
He had an older sister who's like a year older than him named Anna Maria, and he said he was born, and then his brother Carl is a year younger than him, so they banged out like 3 kids in 3 years, his parents. Right away. And then 7 years later, they had Lindsay, who is 7 years younger than Paul. So 4 kids total. Lindsay is a daughter. So there's 2 boys, 2 girls.
2 and 2. Yeah.
2 and 2, and him and his brother are like a year apart. So you can imagine the fighting that went on
hectic.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. At one point, he tells a story about fighting with his brother, and it sounds like these aren't little wrestling matches on the living room floor. These are like barroom brawls. Like someone's head's going to go through a jukebox at the end of it. It's fucking nuts. Like 2 8-year-olds.
Like
yeah. It's like the Girl Scout fight in Airplane, like all the time with these people. So he was named Paul John in tribute to, do you know who?
The Beatles and his dad?
Paul McCartney and John Lennon of the Beatles.
How about it?
It was 67. The Beatles were the biggest thing in the world, and especially in the UK. Oh, my God.
Liverpool, forget it.
Yeah, our people, someone from here is the biggest thing in the world is pretty cool.
In the world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Jesus, it was nuts. His father is a hod carrier. H-O-D.
The fuck is that?
We'll talk about it. What do you think? I don't have a definition of this?
Hod carrier? I mean,
a hod carrier. Carry that hod. Let's go.
That's a job, just to carry the hod?
Put it on your back. Yeah. So, see, if he was really good, he put some on his head, too. But this guy's not good. We're going to have to cut
some
him
in your pockets.
Now, also, the last name, Paul says he doesn't know the origin of his last name. Some of his relatives say that they were French at some point, and that's where it came from.
Yeah, because there's a G in it?
Yeah, but who the fuck knows, basically. It's one of those. He has no idea, honestly, what the origin is. Now, a hod carrier. A brick hod is a 3-sided box for carrying bricks or other building materials, often mortar. It bears a long handle and is carried over the shoulder. A hod is usually long enough to accept 4 bricks on their side. Is everybody seeing it? It's the thing that goes on the shoulder where you see like old-timey guys on construction sites going up with like 2 buckets on it. Yeah.
He's a wheelbarrow.
He's
for a job.
Human. Yeah, he's a vertical wheelbarrow. That's what he is. That's what those guys are. Because otherwise you use a wheelbarrow unless you're going up a fucking giant ladder or something, which is what these guys do.
Or scaffolding.
Yeah, they say, however, by arranging bricks in a chevron fashion, the number of bricks that may be carried is only limited to the weight the laborer can bear and the unwieldiness of that load. Typically, 10 to 12 bricks might be carried at once.
Herringbone it, and if your thighs can do it, my Christ,
that is wild.
That's a tough day.
This is hard work. Hod carrying is a laboring occupation in the building industry. Typically, the hod carrier or hottie. The hottie will be employed by a bricklaying team in a supporting role for the bricklayers. 2 bricklayers for each hod carrier is typical. So he's carrying them their bricks. A hottie's duties might include wetting the mortar boards on the scaffolding prior to fetching bricks from the delivery pallet, using his hod and bringing them to 2x2 foot wide stacks upon the scaffold that may be easily laid by the bricklayer. So he comes up and builds like a little brick pallet for them so they can use them.
Jesus.
This
Poor
is
bastard.
A horrible job.
He Jengas a bunch of bricks together for these guys to get their job done.
How bad do you want to be a layer at this point?
Jesus, man. Somebody show me.
Wow. The carrier should plan the deliveries of bricks with deliveries of mortar also carried in the hod to ensure the bricklayers can maintain a constant work rate. So you got to make sure they have everything. At sites without pre-mixed mortar, the mortar will also be mixed by the hod carrier. So sometimes you have to mix shit too.
Holy hell.
Bricks may be cut and assistance given to rake out the mortar joints if that coursing joint form is required or in repointing work. The baseline rate for a bricklayer is to lay 1,000 bricks a day. If the hod carrier is serving a team of 2, he must move 2,000 bricks, although it's not uncommon for experienced hod carriers to handle 3 guys. They take on 3 guys, Jimmy, all at once.
You can take all 3.
An Eiffel Tower with a guy waiting.
Attaboy.
Bricks all over the place here.
Imagine doing that all day long and then coming home and then
and having 4 kids.
Any sort of frustration.
Jesus Christ.
Boy.
That's old school. The world record for moving 500 bricks by a hottie is 12 minutes.
Yeah.
12 minutes for moving 500 bricks. It's the world record.
Like Paul Gascoigne.
Everybody work on that.
His dad, right?
I'm sure it's his dad. No, it was actually Darren Whitmore in 2011 that set that record.
Oh, he just broke the record. Jesus.
That's why, remember I got you that Darren Whitmore poster? Just that guy. You were like, it's a dude carrying bricks. I'm like, dude, he's the best. Come on.
You have no idea.
This guy is fucking good.
Frame it and hang it.
Oh, yeah. So his mother works in a factory, in a clothing factory, and also does cleaning work and shit later on. Paul says his one set of grandparents is Irish, so he knows he's part Irish. He's got that. He said his parents met and at a dance, which is an old school way of meeting, and they got married in 1966 when his sister was born. Yeah. And they were when they had him, they lived in a 1-room council house. So
that sounds broke.
They were broke as fuck. One room, like he's carrying bricks and she's working in a shit factory. And England really took a long time. That's the other thing too that we have to get. Like America had a totally different experience after World War II because we weren't bombed constantly.
Right.
There was
we
no
shelled
blitzkrieg
unmercifully.
So it was very different. So we came out in the 50s were like a prosperous thing. Everybody's buying cars and houses. They were depressed. England was a depression that went on for 30 years. I mean, it was a long, in the 60s, they were still digging out of World War II and, trying to get the economy right. I think they might have. The Beatles and all those bands at least brought some stank back to that fucking island. So that's where they moved around, I guess the family did, trying to find bigger houses until they finally got a 2-bedroom house.
Oh.
And in that house, he shared a room with his sister, Anna Maria.
Okay.
For a while, which makes no sense because he has a brother that's why would you?
Right,
they just in there? 2 oldest kids in there, 2 youngest kids in there, which the boys are the same age. Put them together. What are we doing? Doesn't make sense. So,
well, I guess the oldest certainly gets a room, right?
The oldest is sharing one with Paul. That's Anna
but
Maria.
I'm saying she gets the room first, and we've only got 2 boys, so one of them go in there with her, I guess. But
I guess
she certainly gets the room.
He shared a room with her. Maybe the boys would beat the shit out of each other all night too.
Maybe
probably
this is a way to separate them.
This might be a way to just keep their sanity here. Yeah. Paul said he would, as he put it, quote, amuse himself. This is from his book here. By tearing pieces of plaster off the wall and throwing it at his sister as she tried to fall asleep. That was how he amused himself when he was like 6 years old.
Pull apart the house and hit my sister with pieces of it.
Break the house and throw chunks of hard stone-like objects at her as she tries to sleep. Ha ha! Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
This kid's right away. You can tell he's a dick. So he got his first football at age 7, his first soccer ball at age 7. And he said immediately knew he was better at it than the other boys. It was one of those things like,
wow, just talent out of the gate,
hit the ground running. Yeah. Well, before that, he would fuck around. This is from his book. Quote: I started off with a tennis ball. I took it everywhere. This is as a soccer ball. He'd use it.
Yeah, he's kicking a tennis ball.
Yeah, so that's like when guys hit. I think it was Edgar Martinez, the Mariners hitter that used to hit. He'd have golf balls pitched to him from a pitching machine.
Wow.
So he tried to hit the golf balls, and that was baseballs. He
said
they look like beach balls after that. They were easier to hit, which makes sense. I mean, you pick up 2 bats in the batting circle for a fucking reason. Sure. So it seems light. So he said, then when I was 7, my dad came back from working as a hod carrier in Germany and brought me a football. I kicked that thing for hours and hours. I was obsessed. It seemed to stick to my feet. I was 8 and playing against 12-year-olds and seemed to be beating them for fun.
Fascinating.
He's just good. Soccer seems to be one of those sports where some people are just really good at it naturally. It's a weird thing,
I
like
wish
anything
I
else.
was so good at sports.
Right? You wouldn't have known. You might be incredible at soccer, but you would have never known it because
I never played a game.
You're trying to play basketball at fucking 5'7.5". That's not going to work.
When I do play with children, because my kids, dude, I fucking smoke them with soccer.
I dunk all over my kids on that little
I'm
Tykes hoop.
so good at them.
Oh, fuck around.
So good at soccer playing against children.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
They're all very impressed.
I'm pretty good at basketball too against kids. I block their shots. I'm like, take that. Talk shit in their faces.
Shitloads of rebounds.
The children will not come in my house. Stay out of my paint, buddy. I love Jimmie fucking dribbling a soccer ball in circles around children is a great fucking visual. I will say
I've got a great sidestep too, to where I can clip the ball behind my back leg, and then I take another step and get the ball back. They are mesmerized when I can do it.
These are American children who did not grow up playing soccer, by the way.
No, they're like, what?
They're like, what's that about? What are you doing? If you took out a hacky sack, it would blow their minds. So,
I meg them. It's impressive.
So he's got some problems, though. So in soccer, he's got no problems. On the field is where he has no problems. Well,
Sure.
he'll make problems for himself, but
You can create them.
he does create them. But he discusses how one day he was playing soccer, and he said he was playing late at night.
Yeah.
Not late at night, 2 a.m, but it got dark out, and then he was walking home. He's 7 years old, walking home by himself.
In the dark.
And he said this is early 70s and, England somewhere. I don't know if it seems safe. Kids used to hitchhike in America at that age in the 70s.
Yeah, but a lot of people disappeared that way.
Oh, well, they did, but you know what? A lot of people disappear anyway, so...
Shitloads that way, though.
I mean, so many disappear. The percentage of people who actually are disappeared by strangers is it's minuscule. It really is. We hear about it because you're like, holy shit, how'd that happen? But
because it's everybody's worst fucking nightmare. So when it does happen, holy shit.
You're way more likely to be killed by someone who's sleeping in your house. Tonight.
Right next to you.
That's who's going to kill you if we're going on math here.
You know their name.
Oh, you absolutely know their name, and you'll probably know why they're doing it too. That's the other thing. You know why this is happening.
You share meals with them, and you're very aware.
So he's walking home, and he said he started looking up at the stars.
Yeah.
And he started thinking about how big the stars are, and how big the world is, and how big the sky is, and what's going to happen if this happens, and started having all these twisted thoughts of, then how long am I going to live? He said that's the first time he started thinking about dying and how long am I going to live, because there's stars and things die and it's a whole cyclical thing.
Do you remember that realization when you had it?
Yes, but it's different. My family's morbid. I had a great-grandmother that died when I was like 3 and we all had to go to the funeral, or 4, and it was I knew about death. Italians are morbid. Death is right there.
I was aware
all
of
the time.
death, but my own mortality, it occurred to me while I was laying in bed. Those same thoughts, thinking about space, and then I was like, and then I got down to me dying, and I was like, oh my God, it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
It fucked me up for a little bit.
Yeah. I think every kid has that realization.
Got real uncomfortable in bed.
I think I had that pretty early. I think, and I was like, man, that's
The restless leg syndrome feeling in your whole fucking body.
Well, no, I started thinking all the time about what if I go to sleep and I die? So I go to sleep and then I die in my sleep. So I just go to sleep and then I never wake up. So every night do I have to think oh shit, this could be, my last minute here.
This could be the one.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I can't sleep. Maybe that's why I can't sleep. I remember having those thoughts from 5 years old. So maybe maybe I just trained myself of don't sleep and you're fine.
That's my favorite thought, I think. If that's...
Well, that's a good one.
If that's how it goes, that's fucking great.
Yeah, no, it's going to happen in traffic, though. That's where it's
for
me,
happen. It's going to be so painful, whatever happens.
Yeah, I'm going to be yelling at something that doesn't matter, and my head will explode.
You're going to heart it.
Yeah, be yelling at a reality show that we're watching or something. I'm
and your whole body will just go cold, and you'll go, I think I'm internally bleeding.
Yeah. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Cody, that's what you get when you want to have 4 wives, you dumb ramen-haired asshole fucking cunt. And my head's going to blow up.
I can't feel my fingers.
Yep, that's what's going to happen.
Everything's cold.
I can see it.
I'm freezing.
I can smell it. So he starts having a fear of death. And from then on, too, he said, he starts having this, like, just kind of an OCD thing a little bit. Like, he said if he starts getting, like, let's say his eye, you know, when you have a little muscle spasm in your eye?
Yep.
Says, let's say my eye twitches. Well, I'll start to freak out about it, spin out, and think, what if that never stops? And then it'll get worse, and it'll his brain, that's all he's thinking about, and it'll take over his whole day.
Paulie's sick.
He'll lose his fucking mind. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's got like an OCD thing going on that's not, no one ever helps him with, and then he replaces, he just treats that with alcohol. Massive amounts of alcohol to chill out, to chill all that out, is what he says.
At 7 he started this.
Not drinking, but thinking that way.
But the thoughts.
And that's the thing. You have those thoughts for a few years, and then you have booze for the first time, and the first time you have it, and then none of those thoughts happen all night, you go, I found the cure. That's it.
I fixed it.
All fixed. All fixed, mate. There we are. All right. He's fucking ready to go. Yeah, that's right. All right. It's all right. You're all right.
I'm all right.
All right. All right, isn't it? So he says that his father also later on will get ill, and we'll talk about that, which provoked twitching and anxiety things, like physical manifestations of anxiety in Paul.
Yeah.
Tics, shit like that. He said he received psychiatric help for the first time when suffering from a severe depression at the age of 13.
That's
so
early.
this is all usually shit that maybe starts when you're 13. He started it early, and he's on a path here. So
you're supposed to talk to the therapist in your 30s, and they go, "You should have come to see me when you were 13."
Or when you're 17 and you fucked up a bunch.
And
your parents are like, "Listen, we don't know what else to do with him." You know what I mean? We got to.
It is weird though that they recognize that he's so bad that at 13 he needs to go talk to a professional. That's fascinating.
I don't know if school noticed it or what, but he's got like a severe depression while he's playing amazing soccer. That's the other thing too. So it's just soccer, okay, not soccer, bad. That's
fascinating.
It. So he says at age 8 he was on an older kids team.
Yeah.
And the kids were, 12 years old, and he was 8, and he was beating the shit out of them. He won his first trophy at 10.
Awesome.
And he said it was a cool trophy, and he loved the feeling, and that's when he decided he wanted to be a professional soccer player.
That's his age.
Yeah, and more importantly, though, he decided that's how I'm going to make millions of dollars, is doing that. He goes, otherwise, millions of pounds.
Yeah.
He goes, otherwise, this is, what the fuck else am I going to do? I'm a mess.
Yeah.
So
He's already aware in the 70s there that shit pays very, very well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all those guys lived a totally different lifestyle than a hod layer or hod carrier. When dealing with a hod carrier, and then you're looking at these guys, and I'm sure you could see them on TV, and they got fancy cars and shit like that. They've always been, fucking flash, the celebrities of sports over there. He loved Pele growing up, which I think every kid who enjoyed soccer in the 70s loved Pele.
Mr. Jordan,
Yeah, that was. Remember, even in the 80s, we all knew who Pele was, and I didn't even like soccer.
In America.
Yeah.
I'd never seen a soccer match. I knew who that motherfucker was.
Knew who he was, though. Yeah, that's one of the. Because wasn't there even like an Atari game? Didn't he have a Pele's Atari soccer or some shit back in the day?
I don't know. I know he had a video game. I don't know which.
I didn't have it, but I remember seeing it in the little catalog when I was 4.
I couldn't give a fuck about FIFA soccer until 2000, I think.
Actually, I don't care about soccer, but soccer games are fun.
Yeah.
Soccer,
they are.
PlayStation games are fucking fun. Yeah, I don't know why.
They really are.
They're good. Even though I don't give a shit about the game and I don't understand all the rules, they're still fun. Well, hockey games are fun too. Same thing.
Yeah. Hockey games I got into in Sega, but I didn't get
big time.
I didn't get FIFA soccer until PlayStation 2.
Yeah. I remember kids had
so much fun though.
It was good. Yeah, it was fun.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment.
charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
So, on the bad side, his dad is out of work a lot, too. Like, for a while here, he will go, his dad will go to Germany for a year to try to get work.
Really?
There's not a lot of work going on. No, there's not a lot of building
happening. Not even in
happening.
the rebuilding of the shelled shit?
Not even. There's just not,
Wow.
I don't know if his dad's just kind of, his dad might be a fuck up that kind of.
There's that too.
Nobody will hire him anymore. We don't know.
Yeah.
But his parents would have violent fights, apparently.
Can't imagine he's got a great attitude at work either then.
That's what I mean, if he's beating his wife. This was especially when he was out of work. So he's not even making that money, and he'd be fighting there. Now, Paul here wasn't good with authority, let's say. No, not big into authority here. He has a tough relationship with his mom. Very, as he put it, combustible. As he put it. Yeah. He said,
I've never described a relationship with anybody as combustible.
Combustible. They would get in giant arguments, and that would include, at the end she'd be hitting him, and it would be like all sorts of crazies. But big arguments, not just like her telling him to do something and he didn't do it. So, she whacked him one. It's more like they got in a giant, like they were a married couple. Like it was strange.
Explosive.
I don't know if that started maybe when Dad was away for a year. So it's like, well, you're the oldest boy, and let's argue. There's some arguing to be done. I'm not sure.
Also, if Dad's not around and she is the authority, and he has a problem with authority,
he's got a big problem with
it. Not good.
Yeah. He said that all sorts of just violence in the house. The siblings beat the shit out of each other. The parents fought. The parents fought the kids. Everybody was fighting each other. So that's where he comes from here. He said that one time he was fighting with Carl. This is when they were like, they were like, 8 and 9 or some shit. He's fighting with Carl. He got thrown into the TV and broke it.
He broke the TV by being thrown into it.
He got thrown, he said, like, over it. It was just like an Old West bar fight. What the fuck? These are fucking 9-year-olds throwing each other over a TV. And he grabbed onto it and, like, took it down with him and broke it. So he said he ran away for a couple days to keep
from getting beat.
He said he got up and ran right out the door. Like, I'm going to get my ass kicked. Disappeared for a couple days because, quote, he knew he'd get a good bullocking on that one. So that makes sense. Bullocking. You're going to kick his fucking balls in, apparently.
Fuck yeah.
So his dad, like I said, went away for a year to Germany to find work. And he said never really sent any money home either. So it's not like he was away sending home fat paychecks or anything. He was just gone for a year.
Gone? Yeah.
Yeah, at least he came back with a football, but besides that, not really doing anything.
It took me a year to get this.
It took me a year. His mom worked 3 jobs in the absence of Dad.
Holy.
And I'm not talking 3 part-time jobs. She works this one on Tuesday and that one on Thursday. She would do a cleaning job in the morning, work that all day.
Yeah.
Then she would do a factory job in the afternoon for like 3 hours part-time, then come home, get the kids sorted with dinner and all that kind of shit, then go back and do cleaning work until 11 o'clock or midnight.
She takes 10-minute naps here and there?
That was her day. Yeah, that's what she had to do.
Lord.
So that's a lot, you know what I mean, to deal with. And have 4 kids at the same time.
I can't imagine that.
And some guy in Germany fucking not doing anything. When his dad came back from Germany, his health started failing. He started having seizures and all sorts of weird problems, neurological problems. So he was in the hospital for 8 months.
8 months?
8 months. Could it be harder on mom now? Now dad's in the hospital for 8 months. You got to deal with that too.
And there's a medical bill that comes along with that. I mean,
not in
let
England.
alone the Jesus
Not
Christ.
in England, there isn't.
Yeah, great point.
In England, that won't completely destroy the future of your family.
Yeah,
if you were in the
would
hospital,
ruin you. Yeah.
If you are in the hospital here for like 3 weeks, you go you just roll me into the parking lot. I can't do this.
Pull the plug.
I'd rather die. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're gonna die. Well, I can't be in here any longer. Either way,
I can't pay for this anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat cat food for the rest of my life, or I'm gonna fucking die here. So there's really no difference.
Wow.
You know, I will spend every dime I've saved with there. That doesn't happen. So that's helpful. So he said his dad, they knew that he was better. He finally got out when they were giving him like cognitive tests and kind of just little mental tests. And they gave him a test showing him pictures of different animals doing things.
Sure.
And they asked him what was happening, and his dad said, "It's an elephant fucking another elephant." And they said, "All right, he's back to normal." That was his back to normal.
That's exactly what it is.
Yep, that's what he's like. They said that's what he's supposed. That's his baseline. So they're like, "All right, you're good. You're back." If he said something nice, they'd have kept him.
I mean, obviously we don't know what his whole diagnosis is and what put him in there, but I can't imagine the job site safety of OSHA is fantastic in 1970s
Who knows?
Germany.
Who knows?
That he's taking a brick
chemicals,
to the head.
And what chemicals are in which powder shit from the mortar he's inhaling. We have no idea.
Yeah.
From the mortar mixtures, I have no idea. Paul said all the kids. Oh, when he got out of the hospital too, he was too sick to work, and he never worked again.
Wow.
So that didn't help any. He said all the
kids
can
recognize elephant porn. That's
he knows
great.
when elephants are fucking each other. He knows that elephant's about to come. That he knows. So he said all the kids had to bathe together at the same time.
What? Why?
Which is to save water. I don't know.
At the same time?
At the same time. 2 boys, 2 girls. That's creepy stuff. Then afterwards, the kids would get out and mom would do the laundry in the bathwater. That 4 dirty kids were in.
That's dirty clothes.
That's just a big soup is what that is. Just a gross, disgusting. That's a bisque. That's by that point it's thick.
Certainly.
More of a bisque,
certainly got
really.
some viscosity to it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, some chunks here and there. This is the time that Paul, he started making like weird noises and twitching. He would make like weird little like under his breath noises all the time, and he would have a lot of twitches, not even like throat clears, like weird stuff he would do, like almost Tourette's-y a bit, that sort of thing. Twitches too in the same way. He was hyperactive as fuck. He was depressed. He had all sorts of stuff going on. That's when he went to a psychiatrist at that point. He says he got obsessed with stealing for a while.
Yeah.
Really into stealing. He said he didn't even need the stuff, just for the excitement of it. He goes, he just loved it. Literally, he said it wasn't even stuff he would want. He just wanted to steal something because it was exciting.
Why don't you steal some water so we can take our own bath?
Yeah. Go steal us a bunch of buckets of water, would you? How about that? He says he did it for years. In his book, which is written, I think, in 2011, he says he'd just stolen some clothes a few months earlier just for the rush of it.
Okay.
In 2011.
Oh.
He then said, though, in the book, and I think he just said this to be out of any sort of legal whatever, but he said, I took them back a while later. Why would you take them back? I took them back and what? Put them back on a hanger? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I stole them for the rush. I wore them for 2 weeks. I put them back on hangers for the rush.
For the rush. Then I got in there. It was exciting. He went to Brecon Beds Junior High School and then Heathfield Senior High School, and that was in Gateshead. He was noticed by football scouts very early. He says 12 years old. He was doing his first kind of deal here. He said that he went to Ipswich, was the first team that took him in to take a look at him. And he said when he went there, though, that's the one he said the coach was a Geordie so he could understand him, and that was great. But he didn't do very well and just didn't really fit in. And he was young and the kids were older, and it just didn't work out. So he went to 2 other trials at Middlesbrough and Southampton, which didn't work out either here. And then finally, though, in 1980, when he's 13, his team that he liked, too, his favorite team, Newcastle United, signed him to a schoolboy contract.
Hell yeah.
Which
we know. That's
fascinating.
Wow.
That you can just rent a child. That is so fascinating.
Take a child and take them on the road.
Sports and showbiz are the only things you can do that with. There's nothing else. If it's like shit where the kid can make a lot of money someday, they're like, look, I know this isn't normal and bad for them, but we're going to do it anyway.
With
rich
the
is rich.
promise of millions in the future.
Yeah, rich is rich. We're doing this. Like, child actors and shit like that. The only people that you can do that with. It's strange.
Epstein did it with a pilot, and we know how that turned out.
Yeah, no shit. That turned out gross. Very, very gross.
Horrific.
So they sign him up. He got in trouble all the time. Mm-hmm. I guess his buddy, he had a friend that he hung out with all the time named Jimmie Five Bellies Gardner.
Sounds like a good dude.
Five Bellies.
Yeah.
I bet. He's a real thin guy.
Yeah.
Thin guy. Thin guy.
It's the guy that runs a lot of marathons.
Hey, Five Bellies. So they got in some kind of trouble where they had a car and they hit somebody with it at some point. Yeah. Newcastle chairman described Paul as, quote, George Best without brains. George Best is another player.
Oh, okay.
Sure. I thought it was the Lost Beatle for a second, but
That's
it's not.
Pete.
That's there you go. George Best without brains, he called him, which is pretty fucking funny. He was good on the football field, though, and that's all that really meant to anybody. He's one of these kids that it was just like, we will anything, huge broom out. Yeah. Huge broom, giant rug, just sweeping. No problems whatsoever. He has got crowded in his house also. There's a lot of bad shit going on. The younger brother of one of his friends, when he's 10 years old, he witnesses this kid getting killed. That's not a younger brother of one of his friends when he's 10.
How old is the boy?
Very young, apparently. His name was Steve Spragan, and I guess this was in a traffic accident. Like, it got hit by a car, which is horrible. That's when his father started getting seizures. He started getting weird obsessions and twitches and all that kind of shit here. Now, Paul, at that point, also developed an addiction to gaming machines.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember in Betweeners when Neil was really obsessed with the fruity. Or
they are fun.
Well, they are fun. Yeah. That's the problem. But when it takes money to operate them, they're not as fun anymore.
Yeah.
They're fun in like Grand Theft Auto when you go into the casino and play a bunch of blackjack and you have 20 million in your thing. That's fun.
Yeah.
In real life, that's money. You're like, holy
that's frightening.
shit.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. That's a lot of fucking money. You can't deal with that shit. So he's would spend all his money on them. Yeah. And that's why he would shoplift to be able to get money to do that also. He'd steal things that he could sell.
He would steal to feed his addiction to video gambling?
Gambling.
My God.
So, yeah, that's where he's at. This is, he's 13 years old at this point.
That's a very adult addiction.
I would say, yeah. If you put like painkillers in there, he's a regular old fucking 50-year-old at this point.
Yeah.
So a friend of his also died. Another friend of his died when he was very much younger like this. And this is while he was working for Paul's uncle on a building site. This guy died. So,
wow.
Yeah, not good. One guy here, Brian Tinian, he said he met Paul for the first time at age 14 when this guy signed with the Dunston Juniors, and which was another team that Paul played for. And this guy explained that Paul would be really good, but at 15, he wasn't even the best player on the team at that point. There was other players that were better. Nobody expected him to be the big hot shot, whatever the fuck. But he saw football as his way of doing it. I'm going to make millions. He said he wanted to support his family. He said at this point he thought, I'm more capable of earning more money than all these people combined. So I'm going to take care of my brother and my sisters and all that kind of shit. He said he loved it, too. It was the only place where he felt good. He said, quote, I didn't have twitches or worry about death when I was playing football. No time to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all reactions. Your brain can't.
Right now. Yeah.
Your mind is clear when you're doing shit like that. You know, it's all about the task in front of you.
I'm probably not going to die in the next hour and a half, so this game is all I've got for the next whatever.
Well, you're not even thinking about it. You're thinking about juking this guy, and am I going to pass going to go up here? There's no time. There's so much going on out there. There's no time to think about anything else. If you're thinking about, gee, what about what's the meaning of life? Some guy's going to blow by you and score. You can't do that. You got to be on top of shit.
That is awesome that at 8 he's already having that. What is the meaning of this?
What is the meaning of this all?
What a thought.
How is it I've come to arrive here, is what he says.
Before he's even done it.
Essentially, yeah. How is it I've come to arrive here? So he was signed as an apprentice at Newcastle on his 16th birthday.
Okay.
Which makes me feel it looks like he builds soccer balls. That's what I feel like an apprentice does. I see him screwing cleats into shoes. He's an apprentice. He was usually overweight, they said, while on the youth side, because you had to be, I guess, a certain weight. I don't know. I'm not sure. The manager of Newcastle, Jack Charlton, described Paul as, quote, a bit chubby.
Nice.
So he's a bit chubby and didn't look like a footballer. Didn't have the body. They said all he ate was Mars bars and all sorts of junk food. So just candy and shit.
Yeah.
Probably stole it. But they said that it didn't matter really because he could play pretty well, and maybe the extra weight would give him some strength. So they were like, eat up, fat boy.
And as a kid, it's fat. You know it. You go out, you go up. You go out, you go up.
Yeah. I was a
that's
fat little
That's
fuck.
what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Some of us don't go up. We just go out.
I was a pudgy little bastard. I remember that. So, and they said it didn't slow him down on the field. So fuck it. That was it.
Yeah.
He said that the coach did warn him about his junk food diet, and at one point gave him 2 weeks to lose the weight. And Paul did. He trained really hard and wrapped himself in plastic bags to lose weight.
Oh, he sweated out.
Yeah, terrible and dangerous, by the way. So you shouldn't do that. But
don't
you will lose weight.
Yeah,
that's the thing, though. You will lose weight. You might die, but you will lose weight. So he was the captain of the youth team, apparently, they led them to the FA Youth Cup in the 84-85 season. Great. He scored twice in a 4-1 victory over Watford, which we've heard of them a lot on this show.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Bunch of guys that played there. So he, that's what happened there. He also said that during all this, he ended up, that's before he became an apprentice, I guess. That's the youth. Yeah. And then from 84 to 88, they said he made his first team debut with Newcastle as a substitute for George Riley in a 1-0 win over Queen's Park Rangers. And the coach said that Paul's first team appearances under him were too brief to suggest if he was good or not. They were like, he comes up a little bit. It's like a guy coming up from the minors in baseball in September. Yeah. He gets 40 at bats. Who the hell knows if that's not a sample size?
We don't know if those 2 goals are going to transfer
no
elsewhere.
Idea.
He did fine.
He did all right. So at 18, he signed a 2-year, 120-pound per week contract with Newcastle.
That's not.
It's a $480 a month. Yeah, that's
shit.
Yep. And the club has a further 2-year option clause on him too after that. So, they noticed though, the coach noticed that he had what he described as a generous personality, which he'd get paid if they were going out. He'd drinks on me, just money gone. He just would lose it all and have it gone. So they arranged for about half of his money to be paid into a bank account that would basically like a little escrow for him, that at the end of his first contract, he'll be paid that in a lump sum.
Yeah, like several comedians that are degenerate gamblers.
Yes, that we know of. And then they immediately lose all of that.
Yeah.
They go gamble that because they're like, oh, well, I can gamble some of this. It's a lot of money. And then, obviously they can't stop because it's all gone.
They got to get to the next town.
And then they Facebook message their old comedian friends and ask for fucking money.
I got a story for you.
We know people like that. An off-the-air story?
You betcha.
Okay. You know what? Because I have one too. So we'll after the show, we're going to discuss that. And it's not like we're trying to hide anything from you. If we discussed this, you would have no idea who we were talking about, and it would not be entertaining. Trust me.
You'd know who they hit up, but I can't wait to tell James.
I know. I'm. Thank you for reminding me because I had one too, so I can't wait to hear yours.
This is so bad. It's so bad.
Oh no, it's probably worse than mine. I think you got me.
So.
I think you got me here. So, 1985-86, Willie McFaul. McFaul, McFaul. He took over as the manager and named Paul in the starting lineup from the opening game of the campaign. I guess that's the season. He took the place of Chris Waddle, who wasn't walking too well, so they had to take him out.
Well, Five Bellies.
Yep, little Five Bellies. They sold him to Tottenham, the Hotspur there, that summer. And I guess Paul scored his first goal at home to Oxford United in a 3-0 victory, and then he got 8 more goals that year. So he did pretty good, apparently. I think that's good. He's young.
Yeah.
Sounds good. 86-87, he scored 5 goals in 24 games.
Okay.
And he's still with Newcastle here. He was called up to the England under-21 team in the summer of 87 and scored with a free kick in his debut in a 2-0 win over Morocco.
Wow.
Yeah. So he went on. I don't know. This is, again, we're real precarious on what this shit means. So
yeah, I mean, my soccer knowledge goes right up
not
to
very
Ted
far.
Lasso.
Not very far at
as
all.
Far as I get.
Yeah, soccer. I'm trying to think of what I really know about soccer, and it's as far as I know. There's Pele, and I know you're not supposed to touch the ball with your hands. I know that's bad.
There's Maradona.
There's Maradona. He did that, and that was a problem, and people still talk about that.
And then you got the handsome guy that has an ugly Hall of Fame bust.
Oh, yeah, there's that guy. And I know that, like, they make insane amounts of money, like the big soccer players.
What
like,
about the guy that fucked a Spice Girl? That guy too.
That guy, too, yes. Yeah, with the English Girl movie. That's right. Yeah, okay.
That girl too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then
you know what? I take it
Jason
back.
Sudeikis.
I take it back. We know soccer. Take it back. We understand soccer. Okay.
I've said it before. I played indoor soccer, and I played in my 20s. So I watched a lot of soccer around then. So I recognize what teams were good and such. But I don't. There are so many fucking guys. I don't know how they can keep up with this. There's so many people.
I don't know. They need a smaller field. It's just too much. It's too much.
There's that too.
It's just too vast.
They zoom out and you're like, oh my God, they're just little ants.
It's just too vast. Yeah, he kicks it and it's like, it takes a while to get over to him because it's like, 40 yards.
Far.
Yeah. So he kicks it, then he kicks it back and forth. And another guy stands 10 yards off him waiting to see what he's going to do. And I'm like, I can't do this. Soccer highlights are the most exciting thing in the world.
Yes, hell yeah.
If you break a soccer game down into 25 seconds, what is it, 9-10 hours long, those games? They're pretty long.
Yeah.
You break that down into 30 seconds. Holy shit, it's exciting. Wow. He hit the ball with his fucking head. That's amazing.
And when you watch a run down the pitch, when they kick the ball, when it's zoomed out, it starts really fast and then it hits the ground and it slows down.
Yeah.
And it looks like I don't know, it doesn't look as impressive as then when they zoom in and you see how fucking hard. Yeah, but you see how hard they kicked that fucking
kick
thing.
and a half, dude. Yeah, they kicked the shit out of that ball.
And they don't even look like they tried hard.
No, they're just fucking. It's impressive, and the endurance you need for it and everything.
Yeah, the running is insane.
It's a lot of running. I think that's why, as a kid, I was never into it because I was like, "This is a lot of running. Why don't I run around for fucking 4 hours?" Yeah, I was a fat kid. Exactly. I like baseball. Yeah, stick me over there.
Maybe I can just trot down the field.
And basketball. It's not too far to run.
Yeah,
and basketball too is fine. But then, what are you going to do?
It was a lot of running.
It's a lot of running. Too much running. He went on to win 12 caps for the under-21s under Dave Sexton. I think that means he played in 12 games, did we say? And we figured out the cap thing at one point, but that was like years ago, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
I haven't
been a minute.
I haven't thought about it since then. So the team was semifinalists at the UEFA under-21 Euros and finalists at the Toulon tournament.
Oh.
Beaten on both occasions by France in 1988.
Yeah, they were good.
Which must have pissed them off good.
Yeah.
There's one thing we know. There's one thing we know about the English. They fucking hate France. That's it. They hate the French. They do.
Bunch of frogs.
So in 87-88 season here, in 88, the BBC program Football Focus here, they had Newcastle's all-time top scorer Jackie Milburn said that Paul was, quote, the best player in the world at that point.
Wow.
Yeah, that's big shit here. In a 0-0 draw in one game here at Plough Lane in February 1988, Vinnie Jones, our old friend,
terrific.
old Vinnie Jones here. Yep, that guy here, Crime and Sports alum. Go back and listen to the episode. Said that I guess this is the one where Jones grabbed him by the balls. So this is Paul that got grabbed by the balls. So Paul is the guy screaming in pain as he's grabbed by the balls from Vinny.
Vinny.
You need to go back and listen to that episode too.
I didn't realize that was Paul.
That was no, we didn't know. What the hell do we know? We don't know. We're like
got a handful of Paul.
Yeah, it was more concentrating on the injury aspect of it than who the hell it was.
And the photo.
Yeah, and so Paul is named as the PFA Young Player of the Year and listed on the PFA Team of the Year in the 1987-88 season. Jesus Christ, I don't know what any of this means. So at that point, there was instability with the Newcastle team and management and shit like that.
Yeah.
So Paul said that he was going to sign with Manchester United. Which is a team we've heard of.
Sure.
So I guess he ended up not signing for them and signed for Tottenham, the Hotspur.
Yeah.
And for a record fee of £2.2 million.
Oh, that's a big deal.
So, yes. And the owner of Manchester will later say that the reason why Paul ended up signing was that the other team just on spec bought a house for his family. Because his family was still very, very broke. So they just bought a nice house. And they're like, we bought your family a house, and here's this money. And Paul just was like, well, I guess I got to sign here. Paul said in his autobiography that after he was given £100,000 signing fee, he spent $70,000 buying a property for his mother and father. So we don't know which is true. We don't know which is true. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's fine. So
either way, he got them a house.
He got them a house. That's not bad. He was first called up to the full England squad. I guess that's your real national team. But for a game against Denmark in 1988, and came on as a late substitute. So 88 to 92 is when he's with Tottenham there, and he is goddamn good. I mean, he's worth the money, it seems like.
Sure.
Looks like he had 6 goals in 32 appearances. I think that's good, right?
Oh, yeah.
7 goals? Yeah, because one's there. Okay, so 7 total goals in 37 appearances. That seems pretty good.
Sure does.
I guess. It's more than I could score, so I'm going to give him credit.
Is there one in every 6 games about? Less than?
I guess, but this is so low scoring. I mean, how many more goals do people want from anybody here? So 1989-90, they were in 3rd place, which was, I guess, coming up for them. So apparently that's good. Also, he keeps playing on the national team. They play Albania and Czechoslovakia and beat them both in 1990 and 1989. So anyway, he's on the he kept his first team place, is what they said, for most matches in the run to the 1990 FIFA World Cup. All right, this we know something about here. He also played 4 games for the England B team and got his place on the World Cup squad in a 4-2 win against Czechoslovakia when he scored a goal, and I guess he was involved in the other 3 as well. So he goes on to play in the World Cup in Italy. He never played in a real, this is the real fucking deal. The whole world is watching this shit.
This is huge, yeah.
This is big. He played in all 3 of the group games, and England won, I guess they won in Group F, and he provided the assist for a guy's game-winning goal against Egypt.
Great.
Yeah. In the first knockout game against Belgium, he had another assist, and then I guess after that, in the game against Cameroon, here, I guess they beat them too. I don't understand any of this. Listen to this. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's very impressive to me because there's so few goals scored. If you're a part of one, that's pretty fucking impressive.
And if you're involved in a lot,
right,
it must be because you're good, because no one else is involved in a lot. So
yeah, and if you're getting the assist, it's because you were cut off because you're that good. They know that you can score.
They understand. So here I'm going to read this. In extra time, he made a successful through ball pass from which Gary Lineker won and subsequently scored a penalty, which proved to be the winning goal. Okay. Referring to the 1990 World Cup, Brian Robson later commented that Paul was, quote, the best player he ever played with. And in 1990, he said he was challenging Maradona as the best player in the world at that time.
Incredible.
So that's how good he is. Yeah, this is what I mean. This guy is like, we don't understand over here because we're like, who the fuck is that? But over there, this guy is massive all over the world.
And the through ball means he kicked the assist to the guy, and he got fouled, I guess, on the penalty on the pass. So he got a penalty kick.
Is there an and one in soccer?
No.
And one, bitch.
The through ball being penalized on a through ball, I guess, means that it was such a great assist opportunity that the guy chasing him had no chance but to get the yellow card, and I guess that's what he did.
Like pass interference.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Had to interfere and make him have a penalty kick.
I love how you qualified that though with like an. I think I understand. Like I don't want to say for sure. I assume
based on my experience,
based on my understanding. Yeah.
Which could be complete shit.
By the way, we don't know what we're talking about. Ignorance charming. That's why I like how you threw that in there real casual. Like, listen, none of this this might mean nothing, what we're talking about right now. Okay.
But, yeah, we could have just led you down a worthless hole of nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. Which maybe we did. We do that a lot.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
So his England teammate Peter Beardsley describing him said, quote, his enthusiasm was so infectious and the whole squad took so much from him during Italia 90. Gascoigne was a true footballer of the streets, defiant, crafty, and intrepid. That is what he says. He could cook up ideas you didn't expect. So he was like a street baller, like a guy who's a good street baller in basketball. I picture the same thing.
My Lou.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He did he dribbled through the guy's legs, his opponent's legs, and then got it on the other side. Yeah, did some of that shit. One off his forehead, left him standing there like an idiot, and they went around him and shit.
Some Harlem Globetrotters of soccer. Watch out.
And one shit, bitch. So also at this time, the tales of his drinking started to become legendary here.
Really?
And not only that, but Jesus Christ, his drinking, he's always nude. He's nude a lot.
What?
In England, male nudity is considered hilarious. That's part of their whole comedic history.
It really is, though.
Male nudity and dudes in a dress is immediately funny. If a guy's in a dress and he lifts it up and his balls are hanging out, funniest fucking thing an English person's ever seen back in the day. I don't know about now, but back in the day, that was hot shit.
It's pretty fucking funny.
Oh, it's always funny, yeah. An ugly
But
man in a dress is ridiculous. John Cleese in 1975 in a dress is fucking funny. It just is, because look at him. He's a hideous
Rowan
tall
Atkinson
man.
in a dress. Funny.
Ridiculous. Hideous man.
Yes.
Terrible. That's
but
fun.
you'd show me a bit that Johnny Knoxville and his friends did where a dick comes out, and I'm always grossed out.
Yeah. For the English, it was real, look at me bullocks as he skip by. Like it was a different thing, and it seemed more light and airy, you know.
Every time I see a Johnny Knoxville bit with a dick, I'm like, oh, come on.
No.
I don't want to see this.
I don't want to see that. It's heavy in America.
Yeah.
In England, it's light. It's like a meringue. It's been whipped into a frothy lightness.
Rowan Atkins shows a nest of pubes with a little robin's egg of a dickhead on top of it, and I'm like, that's hilarious.
That's hilarious. Then he puts a dress on, and it's even funnier. So they said everything with that. This is a part of his book he talks about in Italy in 1990 when he was the youngest player in the squad at 23. Okay, he's the youngest guy on the English national squad here. There was a ban on England players, this is imposed by their own coach, I assume, drinking alcohol at their training camp before the tournament.
Yeah, wonder why.
But a bunch of English soccer players are going to drink. So
for sure. Yeah.
Paul was the guy to find his way around this, and he did.
He'll find the booze.
Yep, he describes in his book ordering a cappuccino. He'd get a cappuccino and then separately get a large mug of Bailey's. Okay, put in a big mug, like a big coffee mug. Then he would scrape the foam off the cappuccino onto the top of the Bailey's so it looked like he was drinking a cappuccino.
Just straight Bailey's.
He would steal the fucking foam.
Bailey's got a heart on it, mate.
Yeah, so there we go, and he'd just fucking drink it. That's amazing. That's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
That's an alcoholic.
They put Abraham Lincoln in me cappuccino.
That's it. And then this is a line from his book. As soon as he did that, he said, quote, I took a few sips and began to feel better almost immediately. That's not good.
Called booze, man. That's alcohol.
Booze. Yeah.
That's alcoholism.
But for him, it was like, oh, there it is. Oh, now I feel better. Like he was using it like medicine, which isn't good.
Sure.
That's not great. So he, when he came back from Italy, for some reason, he did this, and it was a big deal. Here's this. I'll show you this picture. Here he is. I'll scroll. See, he's got his own Gazza hat on there. And a big pair of fake tits. He's got
like a fat belly too.
With a fat, like a plastic, like a plate that you put on yourself.
Yep, that would typically go under clothes. And then the clothes would accentuate it and make you look like a gal or a
basically
fat dude with tits.
Look like a pregnant lady, is I think what it is. That looks like a pregnant belly.
Yeah,
and it says Gazza over the belly button. And he got off the plane.
Gazza.
Yeah, he got off the plane.
Got off the plane like
but
that?
But this is in 1990. There is no Thug Life tattoo. It doesn't even exist
No, not yet.
It's not even. Tupac's wearing a fucking Back to Africa dashiki and one of those fucking hats and a goddamn
He's wearing whatever his cellmate tells him to wear at this point.
No. This is when he was in fucking.
Oh, was he still in New York?
Digital Underground or whatever.
Okay,
this is This is when he's doing fucking the Humpty Dance and shit.
Right. And what's the movie that they were in with?
Nothing But Trouble.
There it
But
is.
Trouble. Yeah, he's doing dances in front of Dan Aykroyd in a prosthetic dick nose. Perfect. So here's an incident that happened July 4th, 1990, which means nothing over there. Nothing at all. England played West Germany in a World Cup semifinal match here. Now, Paul, having already received a yellow card during England's 1-0 victory over Belgium in the second round, I guess got called on a foul on Thomas Berthold, which meant that he would be suspended for the final if England won the match. I guess he got 2, and I guess there's a limit you could get in the tournament. It carries over from game to game. Imagine if that happened in fouls. Hey, you got 4 fouls in the first quarter. You'd be like, dude, what the fuck? So
you're going to start the next game with 4.
Yeah. So television cameras caught him crying after he got the yellow card.
Oh.
And so the Germans ended up winning it in the end anyway, so it didn't matter. But here is a thing they made here. Famous. This is a puppet of his. Okay, this is a puppet. I guess
that's of him.
Spitting Image, I guess, was a show, and they made a thing of him, and
He's
guess
the
it
one
has
over the.
Yeah, it's him, and it has projectile tears that come out of it.
Oh, okay.
That's the
Shoots tears.
The National Football Museum that's displayed at, which it looks
shoots tears
out of its eyes.
That was an iconic moment, obviously.
Huge, big time. Everybody was watching. It was fucking World Cup shit.
As much as getting your dick grabbed by Vinny.
Yeah, yeah. So here is a newspaper article here. Thanks to that unique combination of tantrums, talent, and tears. That's a good title. Tantrums, talent, and tears.
Yeah.
Wow. Tantrums, talent, and tears. That's the one right there. I got to write that down. Tantrum, talent, tears. Yeah, that's it there. So that it says, not to mention the dignified use of a huge pair of plastic breasts. Mr. Paul Gascoigne should, by rights, be crowned the BBC TV Sports Personality of the Year.
Okay.
That was from the newspaper, so they were calling for it. Here's the Daily Telegraph, July 6, 1990. Giant headline, Gascoigne has come of age. It's ready.
He cries?
While he cries, they showed a picture of him there as well. There's a newspaper picture of him crying. The most vivid image of a Turin evening will always be the pictures of young England footballers sobbing publicly as his team were denied their chance of history. Paul Gascoigne was distraught on Wednesday night. He was inconsolable by all around him. His dream had been rudely shattered. It was the most cruel lesson in an education process that is promising to develop Gascoigne into one of the world's greatest players. Just to give you an overview of where they were with him at this point, Gascoigne had dominated a World Cup at the tender age of 23 and had established himself as the leading young player in Italy. But whatever happened in the penalty shootout, fate had already decided Gascoigne was not going to play in the World Cup final. When in the 100th minute of a fascinating evening, the Brazilian referee Jose Ramirez Wright produced the yellow card, Gascoigne's World Cup only had 20 minutes to run. It was near the end of the game. A year ago, when Gascoigne's immaturity was a frustration to both the England manager and the country in general, the realization that he was suspended would have been too much for the player. Television pictures caught the anguish and pain that Gascoigne was suffering. Momentarily, he seemed to come apart at the seams. A sign the new Gascoigne was that after a moment of self-pity, he rallied himself to the team. He has never been subjected to that experience before or anything of that importance, and he did well to recover and keep his composure, is what his coach said. Yeah. That's nice, but I guess it was a big deal, though, how the crying and everything like that. They said, this is England's manager, Gascoigne had 6 consecutive good games for England, and he was probably the best young player at this tournament. I think he has a terrific future. All he has to do is split the jovial from the serious and then be the boy that has it all. Okay?
Be the boy.
Be the boy. Be the boy. Feel the boy.
No.
Be the boy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Be the boy.
Be the boy.
Be the boy. Yeah. He said all he has to do is that. They said that he's upset, but he's getting over it, and he's showing good maturity.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're saying. One coach said, I've worked with a lot of top-class players, but Gascoigne could live with any of them. He could be on the threshold of something quite unique in the English game. All right. So they called it, during the 1990 World Cup, Gazza Mania.
Yeah, because he's gotten paid now, and they're rooting on him. He's a hometown.
And the all of that shit, too, all of the actual, whatever, the FIFA, or not the FIFA, but the leagues that they play and all the league play, that seems to pale in comparison in importance to this World Cup shit. This is like...
Yeah, the World Cup is a big deal, man.
This is the whole world, and it's for countries, bragging rights, and it's really a big deal here. So during this whole thing in 1990, the World Cup's going on. Gazza Mania is going on. He makes a song, Jimmie, and everyone else out there. He reached a song... He made a song that reached number 2 in the UK top 40. Number 2.
You got to stop this.
He earned a gold record for this.
You guys shouldn't have allowed that. What is the song?
It is called Fog on the Tyne. Would you like to hear it?
Fog on the Tyne.
Fog on the Tyne.
Like smoke on the water?
Fog on the Tyne. Soccer ball in the net.
What the fuck?
I say we should listen to Fog on the Tyne, everyone. Let's hear what we got. Here he goes. Okay. Oh, what the fuck?
How? Come on.
Come on. He's dancing and singing along like wearing soccer. Number 2.
Number 2.
England, get your shit together.
It's number 2, all right. Jesus, you guys. Tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is. You're a piece of shit. You're bad at this. Oh, there he's got the pump dance. He's doing the...
Oh, my God.
One fist up. He's doing like fist pumps to the air.
He's really giving it his all, man.
Number 2. Oh, he's representing. He called himself a Geordie there. Yeah, let's dance on a Friday night. Oh, I got to pause it. We're not even halfway done with it yet. Hold on.
Fog on the Tyne.
Fog on the Tyne is hot. This is shit on the lawn is what this is. This is not good.
I'm going to play that going down the road with my windows down. In like Old Town Scottsdale somewhere.
No. Put your kids in the car and then just put it on without saying anything.
And then roll down the windows and
the hell are we listening to? Yeah, and lock them.
Don't you worry.
Roll them down and lock them and then drive your son to school.
Pick him up with that song.
Yeah. Really be bopping your head. Go, come on, son, hop in.
Let's in. It's your favorite song.
You told me to have this playing when I picked you up, and it's playing. So what's the fucking problem? Why are you being a dick?
It's your playlist.
All right, back to Fog on the Tyne.
Oh my God.
So mine, Fog on the Tyne's all mine. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I want to hear him rap more.
What year is this?
1990.
Oh my God.
Number 2.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, see him above the guy playing guitar?
The steel guitar?
Yeah, like he's doing. Look at the guy looking. Look at him.
Oh, nice.
Jumping around with the Everybody do their thing.
Jody, sing.
Yeah, get down.
There's not a lot of lyrics.
There's a lot of...
And very little talent in dancing. They're doing the same thing over.
He's just doing fist pumping.
Yeah. It's the standstill running man. It's weird.
Yeah. He's dancing like someone that weighs 600 pounds would dance.
Oh, we got a fucking sax? Shit.
Oh yeah, no, this is a whole party though. They got a real. He looks like he's having a fucking ball making it. This is the sax/guitar solo, which is. Oh, there he goes.
Air saxing. He's on the ground.
He's just laid on the floor, writhing, playing air sax to the fucking...
Crab walking on his back.
Wow, what the fuck are you doing?
Like Michael J. Fox playing the guitar at the end of the Sea Enchantment.
That's exactly... Except with no guitar.
No guitar. If he did it with no guitar. Oh, wow, man.
Fucking the time is all mine. Oh, and they claps too. I like the clap. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna wrap us out.
Oh,
yeah! Look at him dancing. Get down, Paul. I cannot recommend enough that you just look up Gazza Fog on the Tyne, because it is fucking amazing. You have to see the big dumb smile on his face to really
millionaire. This is a millionaire that doesn't have to do this.
Wow. No. He doesn't. He's a soccer player. Here is somebody, a comment, by the way, on this. It says, lyrically, his best work for me. Lyrically. Yeah. Come on, everybody, gather around. We're all going to get down. That's the great lyrics there. Saw him do this at Gateshead Arms as part of a lengthy conceptual work and thought it had serious promise. Still hoping he'll return to music.
Holy.
Another one, a highly underrated vocalist.
What?
It's my core belief that his vocal talents are far in excess of his talents with a football, which is one of the best in the world.
Why does he have so many YouTube accounts that he can write these comments?
His vast potential remains highly untapped to this day.
Oh, shit.
Wow, incredibly sincere and touching lyrics we have here, particularly the bit about sausage rolls. As for the dancing, well, it's comparable with that of Michael Jackson's. Amazing talent from Gazza. I hope they're kidding there.
Particularly the line about sausage rolls.
The sausage rolls.
I'm so glad he mentioned our cuisine.
Who's not going to like sausage rolls? He apparently really likes them. And yeah. This is amazing. The fucking comments are... He has other songs, too, but that's the big one. Number 2, for Christ's sake.
Shocking.
Number 2. What is this, a mix of Fog on the Tyne?
Oh, my God.
How does that work?
Did somebody remix it?
No, it's...
People love
that
to
was
do
just
that now.
in somebody's mix. That's what it was.
Oh, got it. They got a bunch of... That's on their playlist.
Yeah. Is that... Oh, boy. Yeah, this is amazing. Okay, so we'll get off of there. But
Holy, Paul. How could you?
Fog on the Tyne is all mine, all mine. That's a bad song.
It's Fog on the Tyne is mine?
It's all mine. I own the fog. I don't know what that means.
All mine.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but everybody gather around and let's get down.
Smoke on the Water's better.
I don't know, man. That's pretty...
Such a great riff. There is nothing great about what he just did.
There's no sax solo in that, though.
Yeah, they
Smoke
don't
on the Water
mention
doesn't have a sax.
rolls.
No sausage rolls.
Not
no
a
way
word
to
about sausage rolls.
No way to play a writhing air sax on the floor. You know, I mean, it's got its qualities. Don't get me wrong, but I really think that Fog on the Tyne is the superior song here.
Fog on the Tyne.
Wow, that is awesome. He also established Paul Gascoigne Promotions and hired a number of people. I know he's got a big staff, so he could handle the requests for endorsements and
it went number
using
2,
his likeness.
Ironically, right? And he took it serious? No.
People fucking loved it. They fucking liked it. This wasn't Shaq Fu where we were all laughing. You know what I mean? This was...
When he rhymed something about stinky underarms. Remember that?
No. Yeah, this wasn't the Super Bowl Shuffle. These people liked this fucking song. They thought it was fun. Wow. The whole time he's just pumping his arms. And
there's no dance.
Big
It's the
smile
same.
on his face.
And he got everybody to do it because that shit is easy.
He looked like the bushwhackers. He was doing the bushwhackers. Yeah. He's doing that, and the whole time he's wearing just a soccer warm-up outfit. That's his no other clothes. It's very
in case
fucking
you don't
weird.
know who I am. That's been like Shaq rapping in an Orlando Magic jersey.
No shit. Yeah. So he signed an exclusive deal with The Sun, the newspaper.
Yeah.
But also the newspaper would print shit about him at the same time.
Okay.
He promoted 2 video games, Gaza's Superstar Soccer and Gazza 2.
He is Shaq.
He's so big over there. He's got a number 2, Shaq if the record sold, which it didn't.
Shaq Diesel didn't sell well?
No, that's the thing. He never had a number 2 single. That's big. Number 2 is...
How high did his best song get, do you think?
Not on the charts. Nobody
I'll bet
fucking
it was top
listened
10.
to that.
Shaq? It was.
No fucking way. On the regular pop charts, your ass.
On the Billboard?
No fucking way in the world. No way it got above 50 ever. Nobody listened to that. We were the audience for that. Teenagers that loved basketball, and I wouldn't have bought that at all, ever.
James, it got to number 4. It got to number 1.
On what chart? On what chart? Not the Billboard chart, though.
Oh, you don't want Billboard?
No, I want the. No. I mean, on the regular Billboard pop charts. Is this the?
I know I
hip-hop
got
chart?
skills. Okay. R&B number 20.
There you go. R&B number 20. Yeah, that's not the pop charts. That's specific genre.
That's
pop
USP.
charts are everybody.
33, 35, and 20.
Yeah, there you go. That's about right. Number 2, Deuce with a bullet. This fucking guy.
He had one that got to number 5, but it's because it had the RZA, Method Man, and Rakim in it. Jesus.
And Rakim,
Prince
that
Rakim,
one,
though. It wasn't Rakim. It was
Prince Rakim.
Whoops.
Okay, yeah. That's from Gravediggers. He fucking wow. Shaq, that song I remember was on mixtapes all the time. It was like back in the 90s, there'd be like a guy with a briefcase at the mall, and he'd open it up and have a bunch of cassettes in it, and you could fucking buy mixtapes of good fucking mixtapes, though, of local DJs and guys in the city.
I know
and
I
shit,
got
and it
skills,
was on
got to
one.
33, James. That's crazy.
That's disturbing. That's disturbing because it's fucking terrible. That shows you the power of celebrity.
Yeah. Well, it was on MTV all the time.
And still think about that, and still nobody bought it.
Yeah. Well, it had that sick like at the very beginning where it sounded like it was going to be a good song, and then it's a bust 'em in the eye track.
Yeah.
And then it went back.
Because he'd get good production, so the beat would be all right, and then he'd be like, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? No one can understand you.
As soon as he said bust 'em in the eye with the drums, I was like, oh, no.
No, pick a non-verbal occupation, please. Like dunking basketballs. You're great at that.
It just went so bad, Shaq.
We do this because we can't dunk as well as Shaq. That's the thing. Better voices, though. That's the other thing.
There's just something about monotone rapping or monotone anything. You can't do that. That's awful.
And in the deepest voice ever, deep monotone voice, no one can understand what the fuck you're talking about.
In a time that everybody had 10s and 12s in our trunks, you are fucking up my roof when you talk.
Yeah. And everybody else had a real sharp vocal shit to him, and then he was like, listen here, you got it up and down.
And in waves. Like that was the best part about Wu-Tang or
inflection.
Yes, when Method Man throwing some sort of curveball into his punchline. It was amazing. It was incredible.
And he had a good voice, whereas
it was incredible.
Shaq, no. So
bust him in the eyes.
Oh God, I remember that was so bad. That was so fucking bad. So I guess the coach quit the English national team after the tournament, and the successor, Graham Taylor, dropped Paul in favor of a 32-year-old for the Euro 92 qualifier against the Republic of Ireland. Mm-hmm. He said it was for tactical reasons. Wow. This guy had some skill that Paul, I don't know, whatever. So then he was back again in the starting lineup when they played Cameroon, and so he goes on to play in that that tournament for them. For the 90-91 season here, on September 26th, 1990, he scored 4 goals in a 5-0 victory against Hartlepool United. Wow, 4 fucking goals. He was named BBC Sports Personality of the Year in 1990, which, I mean, if your song's number 2, you're going to be, yeah.
Personality, though.
He said when he accepted the award, he said, quote, "I haven't won anything in the game yet, but the World Cup did help to put England on the map." It helped to put England on the map.
I guess just in soccer. Wait.
No.
They've been on the map a while.
They've been on the map in soccer, and then they owned half the fucking map at one point. They were
they essentially drew the map.
Yeah, they were colonial powerhouse for a long fucking time. So he was also named as the club's player of the year as well.
Okay.
He was named as the PFA Team of the Year, or named on the PFA Team of the Year. I guess it's like a all-pro team.
Sure.
In 1990-91 season, and when Tottenham reached the FA Cup final with victories over Blackpool, Oxford United, Portsmouth, Notts County, and North London, and against Arsenal. He scored the opening goal of a 3-1 victory over Arsenal at Wembley with a free kick. That's one of 6 goals he scored in the competition.
Wow.
So, yes, he's doing great. Problem is, the old Spurs here were in a giant debt. The team was in £10 million of debt. So they were trying to figure out what to do here, and they called in a financial advisor to try to figure out how to plan to get out of debt. And they said, well, I know how you can get out of debt real quick. Sell Paul Gascoigne.
Really?
Yes, there's a guy in Italy that'd be happy to buy him, sell him to there, because they give huge if a team has a guy under contract, they give gigantic chunks to the team. It's like Japanese teams when American guys sign baseball players. So it's a big thing. They deal in the end will end up being worth £8.5 million to Tottenham. So
that's almost done. You're almost there.
That's what I mean. It's kind of, they said this is how you can kind of one swoop here be done. Just get rid of this guy. So yeah, that's what they're going to do, I guess. Problem is Paul hurts himself here a little bit. I guess he needs some guy and then fucked his ligaments up in his knee. He said he had a broken kneecap at one point here.
Oh, he blasted the guy and hurt himself.
Hurt his knee doing it. They took him out on a stretcher and everything like that. So that's not wonderful, obviously. That'll make him go down in value. But then when he came back from that, he suffered another knee injury in 91 when he was at a nightclub and had a problem. We'll talk about that. September 30th, 1991.
Yeah.
He just came back from an injury, and the headline is Scuffle Keeps Gazza on the Sidelines.
Oh, he didn't, twist it dancing to his own song?
No. Yeah, he was like, fucking the times, oh, my. Ow, Jesus Christ, that's a hard dance. Nobody do that. No. He was just getting in a fight here. So soccer star Paul Gascoigne was recovering in hospital today after undergoing a fresh operation on his right knee following an incident in a nightclub. The surgeon who originally operated on his knee after his last injury said it would delay him a few months coming back. He said he has a fresh fracture of the kneecap, which has been rewired. It's a new injury. It's annoying for him, but the outcome will be fine in the long run. He'll be staying in for a few days. He was treated at the hospital. Police said at the nightclub in Newcastle, he was punched in the face.
Oh, boy.
While a guest fell to the ground and he hurt his knee. I guess someone punched him in the face and somebody else fell down and took him down too, and he smashed his knee. Nobody knows it. They said it was an unprovoked attack, it seemed like. Some guy just came and punched him in the face. Like, oh, that fucking Fog on the Tyne sucks.
That's that guy that wrote that fucking song. I can't get it out of my head. It's a fucking earworm.
It's a guy who spent $3 on it. That's what it was. And he was like, you son of a bitch.
I've got a single in my car.
That's it. The coach said, quote, he played no part in this incident apart from getting hurt again. Thank goodness it was not serious. So he said he was just standing around, didn't do anything.
Wow.
So they had a probe into this whole thing, and when it ended, here's an article on that. Police last night revealed they had called off their investigation into an alleged attack on soccer star Paul Gascoigne in a nightclub over the weekend. They said the footballer had made no complaint to them, so he doesn't want to even press charges or do anything. They said the detectives questioned the staff at Walker's nightclub in Newcastle upon Tyne, Fog on the Tyne, but could not find anyone who witnessed the incident. They said he's recovering and had an operation. He's recovering. No witnesses. He doesn't want to press charges. Yeah. What are you going to do here? So the problem is he's supposed to go to Italy, and he's injured now. So now he's supposed to be transferred over there, but they don't know because now he's hurt, and it's kind of a mess here. So December 7th, 1991, he's got a little bit of a problem here. He told police he had to go to court because he hit a guy. And his excuse for it is that he's lonely and frustrated being a soccer superstar.
Samesies.
I get the same feeling a lot. It's difficult for us. And especially, too, when my song only hit number 2 and we were really looking for it to
I was aiming for that platinum.
Go to number 1. Yeah, we didn't quite make it there, so that's tough. He admitted assaulting a man outside a restaurant. Jesus Christ, in Newcastle upon Tyne here. He said, quote, he said, is it because you're Paul Gascoigne and it always will be until I pack in playing football? Until I am nobody, there's always someone who's going to want to have a go at you. Everything that happened that night was in the heat of the moment, not because I caused it, but because I am Paul Gascoigne.
At some point, you get to a level of fame that, my friend, you can't go out. You don't get to go out anymore. I'm sorry.
And if you go out, you got to hire 5 security guards that stand around you and make it no fun for anybody.
Yeah.
And then it's not fun anyway, and you might as well stay at home. So at some point, you got to it's a private parties. That's part of fame. You know what I mean? It sucks. But
people people desire that.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine for me because I'm not looking to go out anyway. So it's all good. But for this guy, he wants to go out. But yeah, I hope we can get there someday.
That would be wonderful.
So my reason for not going out is because it's a real pain in the ass to everybody rather than just because I don't feel like it.
It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. He said, this is one of the reasons I want to leave the country and get away from all this. This is one of the reasons why I feel like packing football in because everybody wants to go against us. I'm walking home with my sister, but no, it's Paul Gascoigne's fault. Nobody understands the way I feel. Nobody in the world understands the way I feel.
No, but they don't get it.
Is he a 13-year-old girl now?
Yeah, take it
Nobody
easy.
knows how I feel.
I
Runs
want
in
one
her
now,
room.
Daddy.
Yeah, starts scribbling in her diary.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? So the prosecuting attorney said he punched a man named John Beach, who's 34, a railway worker.
Oh.
Who stumbled, I guess he was drunk and stumbled into Paul's sister, Lindsay, the younger one, 7 years younger, and knocked her over.
That'll do it.
Paul pushed him up against the wall and punched him. You know what? That's fair. You knock my little
Paul's
sister
side.
over,
Yeah.
I'm fucking punching you. Sorry, that's
you're
it.
drunk and you're running into girls, you're getting punched for that.
You're getting fucking punched. Yeah, especially the 7 years young. If it's your older sister, you're like, yeah, I know.
You go, kick his ass, babe.
Yeah. Or shit, yeah, she deserved it. But your younger sister, you're 7 years younger, you're going to be protective as shit. There's also allegations that he attacked a waiter.
Oh.
And those were dropped when the guy said he didn't want to give evidence. He said that he wanted to spare Mr. Gascoigne and himself any unwarranted attention. That's what the waiter said.
Okay. And maybe it was embarrassing.
Exactly. So he's conditionally discharged for this in order to pay $40 in costs, 40 pounds in costs. Okay. But the thing is, acting on impulse is what's good for him. That's the problem. On the field, everybody says, whatever you feel, do it. And then off the field, they're like, hey, think about what you do before you do it. And he can't put those...
mixed messages.
Yep. Here's from the book about, this is from the Gazza in Italy book. It said, Gazza was also at his best when acting on impulse and was thus told by his managers to do precisely that. Many of his battles later in life were an indirect result of being hardwired to act impulsively. Mm-hmm. It worked for him on the pitch, but not off of it. There's another uncomfortable theory here that must be covered. Gascoigne's mental health issues made him a better footballer. It's one of those things. Yeah. How many fucking NFL players, they're crazy, and that's why they're good. Because they're fucking insane. That's the problem. I mean, if they weren't insane, they wouldn't throw their bodies at people like that and be so good. It's just one of those things. This is certainly the view of former Tottenham and England teammate Gary Lineker and a few in the game that knew him better. This is Lineker. Part of his genius, part of his magnificence is the fact that he was so vulnerable. Without that vulnerable side, without that carefree side, without all the things that come with Gazza, I don't think Paul Gascoigne would have been the player he was. It is a tragic trade-off.
Sounds like it, yeah.
That's really crazy. So then February 5th, 1992, he's at Walker's again.
Oh.
And he's allegedly punched unconscious at Walker's at one point.
He met his match.
Yeah, somebody over there fucking punched him unconscious. So 92 to 95, he's going to go play for Lazio in Italy. And he joined them for a fee of £5.5 million. He received a £2 million signing on fee, so signing bonus, and signed a contract worth £22,000 a week.
Jesus Christ.
In 1992.
Oh, my God, that's so much money.
That is a lot. That's a lot of fucking money.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
So he did play one last game in England at Wembley, and he said he bought dozens of tickets for his friends and all that kind of thing.
Sure.
And he said, quote, "I was loving the hype, but people didn't realize it can get quite scary. There were people carrying cardboard cutouts, old women telling me what I should do, and 3-year-olds looking at me saying, 'Mom, that's Gaza.' I thought, whoa. I'm a bigger deal than I knew I was."
Yeah, children recognize me. They know my fucking nickname.
Yeah. He said, though, within minutes of the start of the game, Gascoigne should have been sent off for a wild high challenge on Forrest's Gary Parker, planting a boot into Parker's midriff, but only being penalized with a free kick. And Paul said, "I wish I'd gotten sent off for the first tackle on Parker. I remember he'd clattered me in one game." You don't want to get clattered. That sounds like he got hit in the balls, doesn't it? Clattered?
Clackered? Yeah.
Clackered and clattered and all sorts of shit. But I waited 2 years to get him back.
Oh.
He was one of their playmakers, and what you try to do is injure his legs.
What?
I've never heard of a sport where they're like, you got to go after the guy's legs.
See, what you do is break the fucking guy's legs and all's well.
You make it so he can't, make a living for his family anymore. That's what you're trying to do.
Or run
end his livelihood. That's really what it's
See,
all
what I'm
about.
trying to do is put him in a wheelchair. No.
Yeah.
What about scoring
crazy.
goals?
Nope, injure his legs. If you're going to challenge him, make sure he can't kick a ball as well as he can if you hurt his feet or his legs.
Jesus Christ, man.
But I nearly took his windpipe out.
Yeah.
That's bad
clattered?
Too. I guess he clattered him good on that one.
Yeah.
Clattered his fucking bullocks on there. So July 8th, 1992, he gets a big welcome in Italy here.
Yeah.
This newspaper article says Lazio fans smashed windows and flower pots at Rome's main airport when Paul Gascoigne flew in to start his new career with the Italian club. About 600 fans cheered his arrival, and he said that he expected a warm welcome, and he was.
That's warm?
Well, it's warm in Italy, though, because think about this. They said police said brawling fans had shattered windows in the arrivals hall, destroying several large flower pots, and kicked a press photographer.
Sweet Christ.
It's a bunch of Italian guys, 600 Italian guys crammed into one airport.
Hooligans.
Forget about it. There's going to be fights. I'll tell you that right now. He said, "I'm pleased the negotiations are over. I've been feeling I belong to Lazio for a long time, and I can't wait to put the white and blue shirt on." September 23rd, 1992. They're talking about when's he going to debut. He says, quote, this is Paul, I'm going to make Zoff, he's the coach, a nice cup of tea each day and buy him an apple. He's wondering when he's going to be able to play.
Sure.
He made his Series A debut on September 27th, 1992 in a match against Greece, which was also televised in Britain. That's how big he is. They televised the fucking game. After the third-place playoff at Italia 90, Gianni Agnelli, head of the Fiat Corporation here, and a key advisor, I guess, to the team, having run the club himself, the other team, walked into the England dressing room and asked to speak to Paul.
Yeah.
The story goes, Paul grabbed this man in a boisterous headlock and slapped his head. He's an old man. He ran the team, this other team, between 1947 and 1954. So that's how
old
he is.
Put him in a headlock in the 90s?
Yes. He ran a team 40 years ago. So how fucking old is he?
He's got to be in his 70s.
At least 70s or 80s or something. They said, were it anyone else, we would assume exaggeration, but this was Gascoigne, so we can assume that Agnelli was not accustomed to such treatment, and certainly by someone who he'd never met before. He never even met him.
Get over here, you old so-and-so.
Holy shit. They said this approach extended to his new teammates, too. He was very boisterously welcoming. He loved, not welcoming, but wanted to be there. Mm-hmm. He went around Italy, was going out everywhere, showing his face. And he said before his first day of training, he visited a bookshop in the city and bought 20 copies of a language guide for Italians learning English, and placed a copy of the book on the designated benches of each of his teammates at the training ground. It was
Italian for dummies.
It was Learn English Italians. That's what it was. It was Learn English for.
It was an English language book.
Italians Learning English. It was called. So it was Learn My Language. It was a joke, is what he was doing.
Yeah,
like you should all learn my language. I won't learn Italian. If their amused reaction was predictable, so is the story that Gascoigne forgot his boots for the initial session, so he turned up in a training session wearing plimsolls. What the fuck is that?
One of those.
What is a plimsoll? Looking that up right now. Plimsolls. Plimsolls. That is definitely a lookup.
Never heard of it.
Okay. Plimsolls. What are you? Nope, that's not what it is. It just Plim. Nope.
What's a plimsoll shoe? It's fucking Chucks.
Oh, well, that's what he was wearing. Why are they
They're
calling
Chuck Taylors. Why are they calling that?
Plimsolls.
I don't know.
What
the hell's a plimsoll?
Yeah, it's like a
the
slip-on
pictures are all
shoe.
Chuck Taylors.
I keep seeing a slip-on shoe, like a house shoe.
I'm seeing fucking lace-ups though. They look
got
like old Vans or old Chucks.
I got the opposite. No laces. A plimsoll. This is Wikipedia. Also spelled plimsoll or pump. Also known as a gym shoe or sand shoe, is a light sport shoe with a canvas upper and flat rubber sole. Plimsolls with elastic instead of laces.
Oh, so they're like Vans.
Yeah, they're slip-on fucking shoes or like house shoes or something like that.
Everything they're showing on the Gentle Manual shows fucking Chuck Taylors.
It's them versus Wikipedia, I guess. Who knows? We can't know.
But the definition that it's just saying old canvas sneaker. That's
not
all it is.
Cleats made for soccer, basically.
Right. Not
yeah,
boots,
canvas sneaker. Yeah. So... yet most obvious in the anecdotes of his Lazio teammates is the unanimous surprise, not at him, but at his extreme generosity, not at his fuckery.
Yeah, he gives away everything.
I guess it was a tradition for people to present the squad's younger members with presents. People would do that.
Yeah.
They'd do that. So,
that's the opposite of here.
Yeah. Alessandro Nesta, one guy, says he recalls being given 5 pairs of shoes and a fishing kit. While Gascoigne gave Marco Di Vaio an expensive camera. They said he wasn't a materialistic person, but he understood that others took pride in their possessions, and so he would like to give people shit to make them happy.
That's beautiful. In America, in American football, the
rookie has to buy everything for the teammates.
Right, and the veterans will give the rookie a fishing kit and tell him, go get your car out of the lake.
Yeah, exactly. Or go catch us dinner. Don't come back till you have it.
Don't come back till you have a swordfish for dinner.
In that pond over there.
Yeah. You're in Ohio.
Yeah, Bond in the fucking middle of Illinois. He said, no, this is a friend of his. No one could ever dislike Paul. He was so generous. If you ever said, Gazza, what a beautiful watch. Where did you buy it? He would take it off and give it to you.
Wow.
Just the way he was.
The guys get $22,000 a week, James.
Yeah, that's good.
Crazy.
That's a lot of watches every week.
Yeah.
I don't know what a good watch costs, but probably, I don't know. Probably get a couple of them. So they said he returned in time, fitness-wise, to be able to play in time for the opening qualifying game against Norway in October 1992. He played in a 1-1 draw and responded to the Norwegian television crew's response to our request for an interview to say a few words to Norway.
Oh.
Said, hey, would you like to say a few words to Norway? This is going back there.
I got a message.
And his words were, this is very nice. His words were, yeah, sure. Fuck off, Norway. And then he left.
My man.
That's fucking great. Fog on the Tyne.
Sure would.
Oh, man.
Fuck off, Norway.
His message was broadcast on Norwegian television because it was live, and he was forced to apologize for the remark.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there's an apology. Paul has apologized to the Norwegians over a televised remark that could have sparked off a diplomatic row. Preparing for an England comeback against Norway, he was intercepted by a Norwegian television crew after a training session, and that's when he said it here. Now, he said he didn't realize the cameras were rolling.
Okay, yeah.
That's why he said that. He was like joking around, like, yeah, fuck off, Norway. And they were like, oh, my God, that's live television.
That could have been Archduke Ferdinand, you son of a bitch.
He thought they were asking him, and then they were going to be like, okay, and they'll stand there and we'll point the camera at you and we'll do an interview. But instead, they were just had the camera on at that point, and he was live. Yeah. He said, obviously it was a mistake, and I can only offer my sincere apologies. I'm very sorry about it.
Okay.
So October 13th, 1992, there's a big article here in the paper. This is the Star, which is sort of the paper.
Yeah,
and it says, shut it, Gazbag. Yeah, they pay him. Okay. Shut it. Foul-mouthed Paul Gascoigne was last night warned you'd better be a better player you'd be a better player if you keep your gob shut.
Okay.
Keep it shut. Norway's Swiss-based star Jan Jacobsen, I'm sure.
Middle name Jacob.
Yeah, there you go. Sparked off a potential Wembley war by lashing out fiercely at Gaza. He said he gave the fuck off, and this guy said, stop trying to provoke opponents with jokes and obscenities on the pitch. Don't talk shit, is what he's saying. Stop trying to act like the big man of world soccer. Well, I mean, people are treating him that way. Forget about trying to wind up the Norwegians. Take a nasty swipe at the Geordie. He said, Gaza's problem is that he doesn't know when to shut up. Gazza is a great player. I've seen him play many times when I'm looking forward to facing him at Wembley. Wow. He said, like him, I'm a bit crazy, but I do it like in the right way. I like to joke and have fun on and off the pitch, but I don't try to provoke other players. That's what he does. He's always joking and talking. He likes to think he's the bigger star. Gazza may have been number one in England with the Spurs, but in Italy there's lots of big stars, some bigger than him. He has a temperament problem. If I go past a player and he fouls me, I don't get up and have a go at him. Gazza does. Yeah, if you try to fuck with him, he'll do that. That's what happens. So,
I don't know. Be like Vinny and grab his nuts. Seems like he calmed right the fuck down.
I bet he left Vinny alone anyway.
I bet he was a puppy dog the rest of that
yeah,
match.
Hey, that's all right. So the following month, though, he scores 2 goals in a 4-0 victory over Turkey, and but the England doesn't qualify. I guess qualification ended badly for England as they ended in 3rd place behind Norway and the Netherlands and missed out on a place in the 1994 FIFA World Cup. October 20th, 1992. Okay. Here's an article from the Evening Standard. Gascoigne, he's in your town, so hide your socks and ties and lock up your shoes. That's the...
He's stealing suits?
No. He's fucking around. Okay.
Oh.
The article says that the players of Tottenham are reluctant to leave their clothes hanging unsecured and unguarded from the pegs in their dressing room wall tonight. It's entirely understandable. Gazza, you see, is back at White Hart Lane. Paul Gascoigne will be playing for Lazio, the club he joined last summer for £5.5 million, blah, 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 blah. On more than one occasion, the players would troop in after a training to find the towels had preceded them into the showers. He'd fuck with people.
He'd throw their shit in the showers.
Yep, throw their towels in the shower. More personal items like underpants and ties had either disappeared or been cut in half. One leg apiece on the underwear.
What a hooligan.
Yeah, he's a fuck around. There's no doubting that Gascoigne has made an impact at Tottenham. His antics were evident from early days following his move from Newcastle to London. It took him a couple weeks to be precise, is what some guy said here. From day one, he was a bubbly, lively character. So he's all happy. One guy said, "We went to Sweden on a preseason tour, and our hotel there was a health club facility with a sauna and a whirlpool bath. A few of us went up to go in the whirlpool. The problem was that Gascoigne had been there before them and filled the bath with both shampoo and bubble bath."
Okay.
So they said they reached they got there and the bubbles filled the room. They reached the ceiling. So it was, you opened the door and bubbles came out like a wall of them.
Hilarious.
He said that was how it went. He said when it came to ability, though, Paul was special. You could see that from the first training session. He always looked to cut above the rest, and his determination in overcoming that terrible injury has been remarkable. He said, but he is a fuck around here. Obviously. And there's so many of these fucking pranks. It's wild how many pranks he has. It's goddamn.
He fucks with people a lot, huh?
He fucks with people constantly. It's just his constant fucking thing.
I like it.
Yeah, he got all sorts of fucking issues here. I'll talk about a ton of them. He said that everything he did has always been in excess, one of his friends said, in abundance. During the close season, he may put on weight, but when he goes to slim down, he goes on this water and honey diet and sticks rigidly to it. He just cannot do things by halves. He's either doing something or he's not doing something. One guy, there was a helper at the training ground, said that he was conned by Paul into loading gear onto the top of a minibus. Gazza then promptly slammed it into first gear to leave the man clinging for dear life on the roof as he sped away. Okay, that's nice.
Get this on the roof for me. Gotcha.
Oh, my God.
Hang on, fucker.
Hang on, bitch. Yeah, you got that? He's fucking rolling behind you with a head injury. They said he loves fishing, though, and takes that very seriously.
Really?
He said when he fishes, he said he won't even talk. He's just focused. He's fucking OCD.
Yeah.
He said he's got a little ADHD, I think, going on. And
probably.
So, yeah. They said, though, it's okay. They said that they do have to replace the fire extinguishers more often because he always fucks around with them and uses them. And
he's opening fire extinguishers?
Oh, yeah. He's shooting them around and doing
Jesus.
shit. Yeah, that's kind of how he fucks around. One time here, he was dining at one of the Rome's most exclusive restaurants.
Ooh.
And he was struggling to make the waiter understand what he wanted to order. He didn't speak any Italian. And he was trying to fucking get his point across. They said that he instead got up, ran over, and jumped into the giant lobster tank, grabbed a lobster, pulled it out, got out of the tank, walked it over, and put it in the waiter's chest and said, fucking that. Cook me that.
You couldn't just point at it? You had to go get it? Jesus Christ.
This particular one, which is fucking crazy, and sat there dripping with water and waited for the lobster.
Yeah, now he's got to sit there
with an itchy
like
ass,
lobster water. Yeah,
with an itchy ass, fucking on his chair, going, "God damn, it's itchy." So they said there's so many of these. One time after his future partner Cheryl returned to England, he was protected by 2 bodyguards. Okay, they'd stay around him so people wouldn't knock him out in a club for no reason.
Sure, yeah.
They would be like they said they became his close friends, but also his guardians, and they were always involved in his bullshit. One night, they burst into his apartment after hearing him screaming in there. They heard screaming, so they burst in. They couldn't find him. They see the balcony door is open. There's like a curtain blowing, the classic deal. They run over there to the balcony, and there's just a pair of shoes on the balcony, like where feet would be, like in front of the thing, like someone fucking jumped off the balcony or was thrown off, and their shoes were there. So they thought he jumped off. They fucking were looking down. Yeah, they were looking down for him and shit like that. So then he popped out from behind them. He had been hiding in the bathroom to scare them. That's what he did. That's funny. One of the bodyguards pulled out a gun and pointed it in his face and told him not to do that anymore. In a jokey way.
Yeah.
In a jokey.
What a party.
It's
this
Italy.
is so much fun.
It's Italy. Yeah. That's a joke in Italy. It's fun. He also remembers one time here, Paul does, that Gianni and Augusto, those are his two bodyguards, they had responsibility for guarding a bank vault in Rome in the city center. They got a job guarding this vault. He talked them into letting him come into the vault and sit on the piles of money. Just let me come in and sit on it. And they were like, all right, fine. He said, I won't fuck with the money, I promise. So he gets in there. As soon as he sits down, he just starts throwing wads of cash into the air and letting it rain on him. And they're like, oh, my God, stop, please.
He makes $22,000 a week. He could just do this at home.
He's having fun with this, though.
He wants to
just
Scrooge
go to the
McDuck
bank.
it, though.
Yeah, he wants to be like, yay. So there was another occasion where Paul had not shown up for a training session. As the team pulled up into the training ground, he was seen lying by the side of the road with a motorcycle on top of him covered in blood.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so the team slammed on the brakes. Several teammates fucking ran out.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, fucking Paul's dead. And when they got to him, he burst out laughing and stood up and pointed to a bunch of kids. This is all ketchup, ha, ha, ha. He just sprayed ketchup.
There's nothing funny about that.
Nothing funny at all. Yeah, they said, Jesus Christ, what the fuck, man?
Sick fuck.
This one teammate, I love his first name. Holy shit. Pierluigi Casaraggi is his name.
Pierluigi.
P-I-E, Pierluigi. Yeah, Pierluigi. Wow. Pierluigi. So they were like, what the fuck? But that guy said he was a man with the heart and the eyes of a child. Okay.
What does that mean?
He means it as a
he looks at the world,
through a child. Yeah, it's kind of, he's kind of a big kid.
He's an immature fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, one guy said, we were on the team bus once and he sat down behind Zoff, that's the coach. As soon as the bus went into a dark tunnel, he stripped off all of his clothes and just sat there waiting for Zoff to turn around and see him naked once they popped out of the... He just sat there with a
British dick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
British
funny
cock.
there.
It just pops
that
out
is
sometimes.
Fucking funny, man. Zoff, the coach, tells a story about bursting into laughter after Gascoigne entered the team dining room completely naked after being told to come to dinner right now by the manager.
Right.
He's like,
All
well,
right.
all right,
On my
I'll
way.
come now. So he came. He said, quote, we'd all just finished eating. The teams gathered together, and there are other hotel guests in the dining room. This isn't like in their team facility.
Dude, you can't do that.
Suddenly, the door opens and Gazza, totally naked, walks through the room like it's the most natural thing in the world. He comes up to me and says, here I am, boss. Manzini told me to come straight away, just as I was. And Zoff said, I couldn't think of anything to say to him, so I simply burst out laughing. In Europe, nudity is not as offensive. There's nudity on regular television there. It's just not as offensive there.
Yeah, they do the news that way.
As long as his dick's not hard, it's not if his dick was hard, then it's like, hey, what the fuck? But if you got a soft dick, it's humor.
Yeah. Also, the way we treat nudity is like it's aggressive. There they call it a willy, for Christ's sake. There's nothing not funny about that.
No, that's funny as shit. There was another time where the general manager Manzini came to watch him in recovery training at Tottenham, and a youth team player was sent to get Manzini a tea.
Yeah.
So Paul got his fucking BB gun, his air rifle, and as the kid came back with the tea, he shot the teapot from the tray and broke it. Out of this
could have
guy's
killed
hand.
somebody.
You could have put this guy's eye out. He's a young player. That is fucking wild.
Unbelievable.
Here. Another time here, this was in the team president said he kind of crossed the line. He was driving through Rome near Stadio Olimpico with a bunch of people surrounding his car. They're, oh my God, it's Gazza, it's Gazza. So he tried to get himself out of the crowd. He ran over somebody's leg, leaving tire marks across it and everything. He just was like, well, I'm driving now, and hit the gas and ran over some fan's leg.
Holy shit.
Which you can't do that.
No.
He stopped and gave the man a shirt. Here you go. Sorry about your leg, mate. Sorry,
you're Italian football club shirt.
Sorry, you're gonna limp for a while here. It wasn't even that. It was probably like just a McDonald's shirt he had or something. Just something
with
some giveaway that he got from a ball game one time.
Something with some sponsorship.
Yeah. The fan though ended up giving interviews for the press and that pissed off the team that they found out he ran over a guy's legs. The general manager here, Cragnotti, he visited the club's training ground one day with a host of club officials. And Paul approached him and said, oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
This is the general manager coming with a bunch of club officials. Here, we'll show off our big player.
Yeah.
He walked up to him and said the very few words in Italian that he had learned for this particular situation, which means, quote, your daughter has big tits. Which might be the funniest fucking thing you could just pop up and say to somebody like that. Like, so
Hey,
inappropriate.
boss. It's his boss.
It's not even your wife,
No.
your mother, your daughter has big tits. All right, what do you think of that?
I learned that just for you.
Oh, God, that's fucking amazing. And the club official started trying not to laugh, but the Cragnotti guy, he was not okay, the general manager.
Yeah.
He was super fucking pissed off. The team president, not even the general manager, even bigger. He was super pissed, and he was not happy at all with this whole thing because he was being laughed at, too, on top of it, which is fucking very fucking ridiculous here. This is when he's in Italy. On numerous occasions, he is said to have punched reporters.
Oh?
Yes. There's also a time when he burps into a microphone that becomes a big deal as well.
Really?
Yeah. There's one time the Lazio team hosted another team at Stadio Olimpico in a game for which he was injured. Before the match began, Paul was sitting with an England teammate, David Platt, who played for that other team.
Yeah.
At the time was also injured. So he was sitting in the seats reserved for the players and club officials. Players were not permitted by the club to talk to the press before the game, but a journalist attempted to see if a quote was true with Paul, tried to check it out. So this is from the book, the obvious response for anyone else at least would have been to smile politely and ignore the question or offer a non-committal noise to indicate that no comment would be given.
I'm not doing it, yeah.
Yeah, just a can't answer or whatever.
Yeah.
In his wisdom, Paul let out a burp that was broadcast live to the country on primetime television and replayed thousands of times over the subsequent days and weeks.
As his answer.
Became a really big, yeah. In America, we don't think that's a big deal, but in England, we're talking at the time, politeness. You didn't just burp in the show. No, that was
Burp into
crass
the ether
and
as your
crude.
answer?
Yeah, and that was not considered okay over there. Here, in Italy, he's known as Il Matto, the madman.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they know him as over there, which is pretty fucking funny. He broke his cheekbone at one point in '93 and had to play the rest of the games with like a plastic Bill Lambier mask. Yeah.
Fucking Phantom of the Opera.
Imagine how uncomfortable it would be to play soccer in a fucking
run.
so sweaty
Jesus.
under there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it'd be fucking disgusting here. Lazio ended the campaign in 5th place, which is actually considered a success for them. It meant qualification for European competition for the first time in 16 years.
Are they being promoted?
I guess they're in some tournament. They made this tournament or whatever. So, yeah, he said, well, you know what, here, because we'll start wrapping this thing up. We will end it with Paul doing this. You know what? Let's give it in their own words to shut this thing off. There we go. In their own words for Paul. Jesus Christ, he's nuts.
What did he say?
In their own words, quote, I've got an illness. I realize that now. It's not alcoholism, not really. That's more of a result than a cause. What I've been suffering from my whole life is a disease in my head. I'm still scared of dying. That's part of it. Was life good beforehand? No, it wasn't. Getting depressed is no fun. Getting drunk all the time to escape feeling depressed. Now that I did like. What I didn't like was afterwards. I didn't like waking up in the morning, not remembering what happened, feeling ashamed and filthy and guilty. So overall, was life good? No, it fucking wasn't. And thus ends part 1 of Paul Gascoigne.
Fantastic.
And this is like, he hasn't even started getting arrested yet, really. It is a
petrified of dying.
It's a shitstorm that goes up until last month.
And,
That's how,
oh, man, I can't wait.
We have 30 years of crazy. This is only in 93 here. But this sets the table. We know who we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
A crazy person, obviously,
Fantastic,
who is out of his fucking mind. So there we go. That's Paul Gascoigne, at least part one of him. This will be a 3-parter, I assume. So,
Great.
holy shit, I'm excited to hear. Like I said, this is just, we've barely scratched the surface of how crazy he is.
We've set the table. We've made the bed.
Yeah, he'll start punching all sorts of people pretty soon. So
Floors
it's a
are
lot
hot.
of
Let's
fun.
get after it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if
Throw
you
the party.
enjoy, it's a big party. Fog on the
It sure
time.
is.
It's all mine, all mine. So if you enjoyed that, I'll tell you what, tell the world about it.
Please do, yeah.
Please tell the world about it. Tell your friends, post on social media, do whatever you can to spread the show. It really does help a lot. Do that, follow us, and also you definitely want to head to shutupandgivememurder.com, get your tickets for live shows all over the place, by the way. 12 cities this year for Small Town Murder, so get in there, check them all out. Our tickets are going extremely fast. If you'd like to go to a show, I recommend buying tickets like now.
Better get after it.
Yeah. There's a show in November that's already sold out. So, and ones that are close that are later in the year too. So definitely get your tickets now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. New merch up there all the time. Get in there, get that. Follow us on social media at Crime and Sports on Facebook and Twitter, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Listen to our other shows, Small Town Murder, and of course, Your Stupid Opinions, which comes out every morning, and it'll rock your fucking world. I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah.
So check all that out and do that. You certainly want Patreon. I'll tell you that much. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get not only a shout out, which is coming up in a minute here, but you're going to get tons of shows, a couple hundred back episodes to immediately binge on.
Sure.
New shows every other week. One Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you get it all. This week is no different. What you're going to get for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about Morgana the Kissing Bandit, who is a woman, a blonde woman who was in like the 70s and 80s with the biggest boobs that God has ever produced, God or science has ever produced.
Incredible watermelons.
And she runs out, and she'd wear little shorts, and she'd run out on football fields, baseball fields, tennis courts.
Tight shirt. You can see her. You can see the whole titty.
And she'd run. So when she runs, her tits are like bang, bang.
Yeah, she's
they're
not
like
holding
punching her
them.
right in the face.
Yeah.
No, they're punching her right in the face. And they'd let her on the field. No security would come out. And she'd like kiss Nolan Ryan on the cheek in between pitches. And he'd smile and she'd smile. And she'd jog her big titted ass off and nobody would say anything. Who is this lady and what the fuck, basically, we'll talk about with that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Then for Small Town Murder, it's back again. The prisoner dating game.
Hell yeah. Missed
All
it.
violent felon edition. That's right. We're going to line up 4 young ladies and 4 young men here for Jimmie to choose from. And he's going to choose one of each. Only going to hear their pitch that they do on their little dating website there. No other information. Not going to know what they look like or, most importantly, what they did. And then once he picks, that's when he gets to find out what kind of a psychopath we have set him up with. And it's a lot of fun. And will he pick the kid diddler? That's the whole question every time. You never know. That's patreon.com/Crime and Sports. And now it's time to get a shout out. Jimmie.
Oh, yeah.
Please hit me with the names of the most wonderful fucking people on this earth who keep this show going like crazy. Jimmie, hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producer is Julie Cargill. Thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you.
You're amazing, Julie. You're the only
kicks
one,
ass.
Julie. You executive producing.
Julie.
Son of a gun. Thank you,
We love
Julie.
you, Julie.
You're terrific.
Thank you.
Other producers this week are Betty Swallows, VJ,
Nice of her.
Condi Lamada, Condi Lamada.
There you go.
VJ, Condi Lamada. All right, Peyton Meadows, Jessica Bampton. It is Bampton. All right, Scott Atanasio. I believe he's up in Poughkeepsie or somewhere.
Is he?
Or he's familiar with the area. I'll say
Okay.
that. Liz Vasquez, Ava Dodson, William Locklear. That's Heather's kid. Stephanie Addis, Janice Hill, George Brian Melton, Eaton Schmeckma. Probably not. Crystal Sogstastad. We got it. Thank you so much, Crystal. You're terrific.
Yeah.
Natasha Gleason, Lacey Garcia, Josh Seavey maybe, Stacy with no last name, Kira Lloyd, King Lizard, Martin with no last name, Key Francis, Kentucky Francis, KY Francis, Chrissy Goodrich, Kate Edgar.
We should get Edger together with KY. This two will have a party together.
Have a great time.
If you're edging that long, you need lubrication of some kind, right?
For sure.
dry
Becky
out
with
down
no last name. Felicia Hernandez, Ginny Britt, Matt S., Christy, Ray Ward, Michaela B., Ryan Newman, Sandy with no last name, Herschel Yeet Beaton Skeet Bush, Mitchell Heel, Amber Udland, Opus with no last name, Beta Leighton, David Moon, Alicia Spajote, S-P-J-U-T, Spajutes. Spute. All right.
Spagiotes.
Gross.
Spagajokos.
Easy to make jokes about. That's what it is, Alicia. Will Stoles. Jessica Coffey. Heidi Weigel. Laraway. Karina Nook. Nicholas Hoyt. Carl. Fakima, Angie Reynolds, Noel Dietz, Samantha Collins, Kiki Noble, Natalie Boyd, Susanna Grissom, Madeline S. Nash, Kayla Smith, Jazzy Lowe, okay, Shayna Bath, Marie Helen Paradiso, Eunice Sullivan, Julie Fox, Roberta Garcia, Emily with no last name, Krista Bushelman, Allison Hemrick, Becky O'Connell. Oh, that might be wrong. Also, Maddie Marie, Michelle with no last name, Grumpy Zombie, Corey with no last name, Elizabeth Coladizius, Coldzh, Nick Gilligan. Call of Duty. Shara Brown, Tom Lindell, Samaria, Morris, Rising Experience, Existence, Adam Wilfong. Wilfong is a fun name because Apple tries to make it Wolfing every time. Megan Fisher, Stephanie with no last name, David Mason, Alexander Reed, Ian Anderson, Zachary King, Jason Myers, Suck a Fart Bitch, Chris Kohler, nice. Harold Burgess, Maria with no last name, Nicole Schmidt, George Hellinger, Shalita Washington, Jonathan Glenn, Ashley Levon, Shakira King, Phyllis Minchu, Katie DeWitt, Tina with no last name, Chrissy Conch, oh boy, Sonia Baker Fox, McKenna McKelvey, Trevor Goss, Brad G, Brian Lake, Devin Baum, Sean Hura, Brenda Savinsky, Jesus.
Hey,
Michelle with no last name, Trent Harmon, Margot Gonzalez, Stephanie Reagan, Justin Schald, Juan Lopez, Jolynn Holbrook, Huati, Viola Brown, maybe Voila Brown, Heather with no last name.
Brown.
It's Brown. How about that?
It's just Brown.
That's my magic trick when I go in the bathroom. Voila, I've made
Brown. And watch this. Now I make it, voila, disappear. Flush, done.
Voila, yellow.
Oh, man.
I'm a child. Dennis Gomez Cruz, Rebecca New, Joe Riggs, Christy with no last name, Mr. Adam Kennedy, Eugenia Shirley, Alex G, Christina Hill, CSC, I can't even read letters, CSCHI, 13 Pirates, Sarah Campoli, AJ Ducky, Roger H, Calla with no last name, M with no last name, Mark with no last name, Taylor with no last name, Steve and Becky Ott, Odie maybe, Stephen Gavin, Melissa Bernhardt, Rudy Folds, Jason Curtis, Catherine Howard, Laura Reeves, Mason Dryfout, oh boy, that looks like dry fart. Gabriel Montana. Roger Pete, Carrie Lynn, Claudia with no last name, Courtney Lowe, Kayla Weller, Phoebe Mortallaro, Selena Huerta. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a Paisan for sure. Amy with no last name, Ryan Ellis, Janny Bourne, Caitlin Young, Gretchen with no last name, Denise Linsky, Jennifer Smith, Caroline with no last name, Mac Daddy, Kristen with no last name, Andrew Abel, Aaron Hayes, Carmen L, Lily with no last name, Cheryl with no last name, Chris Wilson, Austin Braley, Lynn with no last name, Saman Amiri, Mikhail with no last name, maybe Mikhail. Maybe Michael.
Possibly Michael.
Mikhail. Maybe Mikhail. Probably something else. Jennifer Denley, Lisa Barnes, Robin Bredd, Troy Bellis, Jake Gordon, Kimberly Merlot, Kaylin Beddingfield, Carolyn Hawley, Scott Henderson, Liz with no last name, Sarah Wright, Aaron Pursuti, Maggie Zering, Kristen Haluch, Cheryl Fazio, Olivia Peterson, Ann with no last name, Tony with no last name, Zach Cross Street, Heather Maserati, Kaylee, Tucker, Jessica Beachy, Music City Toys, Gabby Bucci. I don't know.
It's a Bucci.
It's a Bucci. Pamela and Shanique.
Hey.
Hey, boy, that sounds like fucking makeup. Benjamin Hirsch, Kyle Alexander, Busanati, Busanate07, Ryan Hildebrand, Aussie 321, Carmen Armstrong, Michelle Clancy, Lumi Wambagogo.
That's fun. Wambagogo. That's a great name. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Lumi Winnebago, Christy Andrews, Juanita Peaches, Tyson Armstrong, Paige, why'd you do that? Why delay? Why Dyla? All right, Summer, why'd you do that?
Why'd you spell that?
Summer Karsten, Cindy Kateria. All right, Casey with no last name, Jessica Vietnamese, Vatees. All right. Vatasese. All right. Bella with no last name. Mark Rubinique. Rubeke. Sandra Rivera. Heyo Wayo. Mrs. Papa. Tracy with no last name. Jamie Diaz. Jeremy White. Lauren Gargazola.
Gorgonzola?
Gorgonzola.
I was going to name you whatever closest food you are. The Mortadella lady got it earlier, so that's what happens.
Greg Waters and all of our patrons, you're fucking amazing.
Thank you, everybody, so much. Holy shit, you guys are the best. If you'd like to follow either of us or both of us and the whole deal, you can find that on shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yeah.
There's a drop-down menu, so keep coming back and seeing us. Remember that what's going on there. We'll be back next week. That's right. The Jordy boys are coming up. And just remember... Yeah, tell it like it is, everybody. Everybody remember the fog on the time.
Like until next week.
It's all mine, all mine. Thank you so much, everybody. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios and the fog on the time. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.